Welcome to Bull Rad Talks.
Yeah. Welcome. Me and my boy B Rad back at it.
Yo, what's going on? Tapped in and ready to swim, baby.
Back to doing what we do, talk shit, swallow spit.
Pause.
I've been on my reactions and stuff, but man, a whole lot been going on in the real world too. What's going on with you though?
Yeah, man, I see you out here doing the thing for sure. But I'm doing well. Everything's good. But you said it right, man. Fucking shit's getting wild the past day or two. I mean, my God, what's going on out here, Bush?
Man, I don't know. Remember the last conversation we had? We had talked about gangs in Chicago, but tell the
Same
truth,
conversation.
these active shooters is getting. I mean, these mass shootings is getting crazy. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, we can start with the little thing that happened. You feel me over there? What's going on, man? Hold on, because this is crazy.
Which one is that? You want to go international first or stay national? Want to stay in America? Which one you want to go with?
I think we're gonna stay. We can stay national first. They got the thing going on in Australia. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. Yeah, that is a.
But we could stay. We could stay in America, like the Brown University. Is this the place where the hero jumped out and grabbed one of them dudes, man?
No, well, I don't know about that in Brown, but that was definitely happened in Australia. One of the guys.
Oh, that was Australia. Okay.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah,
as far as the Brown shooting, I actually didn't do much research into it. I saw there was 2 killed. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, no, I thought.
Hold up. It was 2:45 p.m. Authorities gave a public update to Saturday's Brown University campus mass shooting case. And on a Monday afternoon press conference shortly after releasing new images and videos of the situation. So wait. All right, let me play some content, man, because I hate I'm not even up on this. This is terrible.
Yeah, no, it's all good because I'm not up on this one specifically either. Every other one I'm good, but yeah, let's run this one.
All right, mass shooting and Brown. That's a big ass college, right? That's prestigious.
Yeah, it's a fucking. I believe it's Ivy League, but it's an Ivy League school. It's a big dog school for sure, man. A lot of brilliant people attend there.
Damn. All right, well, let's just see what's going on with this. Hold on.
Hey, Betty.
Hey, Debbie.
New sunglasses?
I got them with my
Get shit together.
Play reward.
I play games and then use cash out gift cards to all my favorite stores.
So this is all thanks to Misplay?
Just download the app and start earning rewards.
Put the videos up. So this is the first one. This is the individual walking on the sidewalk of Benevolent. And this is prior to the
Salute Neighborhood Harold. He said, "Bro, where you been? You see, we back, bro, and I'm happy you here. We just trying to get it back, Me and B-Rad, I gotta get my exercise in, man. We love speaking on this stuff and getting back to what it's about. But shout out to you for tapping in, neighborhood.
Sure.
For sure. Shit gonna get better. We got things in the working, but stay tuned, bro. Got a mod
Absolutely.
Here we go again with video 2, Mike. Again, you see him walking.
Homie just walking like, you know what I mean? I heard he got away, right? Did they catch him yet? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go on to the third video. And you want to, this is some photos of this individual. And they will all be timestamped.
Rhode Island. I used to live in Rhode Island. Shout out to Newport, Colony Hill.
Thank you. So we'll be providing this as well, and I ask you all to please make sure you put them up, and then anybody.
Oh man, in Rhode Island, man, them police in trouble, bro. Homeboy just walked off. I think they caught him, but he looked like he just walked. Man, rest in peace to them students, man. I don't know why it's this thing in America where we love to attack schools and the innocent, and that shit is like a trend, and it's a scary, sick thing that's going on out here, bro. Because that's not really common to everywhere else, I don't think.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty exclusive thing to the United States and the West in general, but mainly the United States is where this whole school shooter thing kicked off back, really with like Columbine was like the first, big one. I'm sure there was a few before it, but that was the main one. And ever since then, it's become, like you said, a trend. And it's fucking crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you're shooting innocent kids, man.
For real. Let's watch this real quick.
Here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. We do have to bring you some breaking news. This comes from Providence, Rhode Island. Right now, we are hearing that there has been a shooting reported at Brown University. I do want to put up this live vantage point that we have there of some of the reaction that is now coming, and then the police response there to the area. As you can see in front of you, there are multiple police cars and other ambulances, as well as fire trucks now responding there to the scene. Again, this is in downtown Providence, Rhode Island at Brown University. So it is official that we have heard brief remarks there from the university as well. They put out a statement on their website. So I want to show that for you here on the screen, as this is, again, breaking news just now coming into our newsroom, saying that Brown University alert is that this is first urgent. There is an active shooter near Barris and Hawley Engineering. Lock your doors, silence phones, and stay hidden until further notice. Remember, run if you are in the affected location. Evacuate safely if you can. Hide. If evacuation is not possible, take cover. Fight. As a last resort, take action to protect yourself. Stay tuned for further safety information.
I think it's a topic that needs to be brought up is we need to start taking our safety more serious in these schools, the kids. We need training, I think, and start thinking not to, getting more on the defense with this type of stuff, because this is bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a very simple situation. All you got to do is put metal detectors in the main entrance of the school, right? Only have, certain doors open and unlocked throughout the day. Obviously, for fire safety reasons, you can't chain lock doors, but all the doors should be locked and able to open from the inside going out, but not able to open from the outside in. And metal detectors at the main entrances, and have legitimate security there,
I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry. I think we need more training. I think we need training. Fuck that. You talking about metal detectors? Nah, these kids need to be. Some of them, once you after a certain age, shit. Hey, it's time to get on some real defense. I understand what you're saying. We can't get them militarized because they're kids, but something got to be done. We can't be losing our kids in schools like this. This is messed up. Or the teachers got to be trained with things or something. Of
course. Well, we've had this conversation before. Obviously we've spoken about it a couple times, but there was one point where I was saying that teachers should be armed in school. I'm not saying every one of them necessarily, but there should be a percentage wise, if you got 100 teachers, have 3 of them armed, 3 to 5 of them armed at all times in school. Obviously, professionally trained, sanctioned somehow through the school district. That way it's an official training, and it's not just some idiot where you take a quiz or somebody that people really teach you. Have it kept a secret. Obviously, you don't want people knowing all of that, but the constant argument you get from people about putting metal detectors or having armed teachers, you oftentimes get a lot of pushback from the left, and their answer to it is, that's going to cause trauma and it's going to mess the kids up, being that they have armed security and metal detectors and all that. And it's just like, yeah, I get it. Maybe some kids won't really like it at first. It would be kind of upsetting or scary. But the reality is every time you walk into a courtroom, anytime you go to get on a plane, anytime you go into a federal or state building, you go through metal detectors, and they have armed security, and little kids aren't having nightmares about TSA and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're right.
For the two kids that are uncomfortable, then they'll get over it quickly. But I'd rather a couple kids be uncomfortable or even scared at first, as long as we know that they're safe and that nobody's going to run up in there with a gun. I think it'll be worked out. I think it'll be a positive to do that. I don't know why it's taking so long to even think about it.
For real. It's crazy though, because they did have a lot of real security, like in the ghettos and the hoods. You know what I mean? They had metal detectors and all that. They've been had that type of stuff, but for some reason, where all the mass shootings are taking place at? Can you answer that?
Well, it's not usually in urban schools, I'll tell you that much.
Thank you.
It's primarily suburbs,
So that's pretty ironic, wouldn't you say?
I mean, not really. I mean, check it out. It doesn't happen in the hood because when you go to public schools, say in Brooklyn or some shit like that, they have metal detectors. They have armed security.
Oh yeah.
They're aware of the threat. So, like, everybody knows public schools in New York, you don't bring a fucking tool to work. I mean, to school, because it's no point.
Yeah, but what I meant was it's crazy how, you know what I mean. The problem is in the suburbs, but in the hoods they got metal detectors and all that type of shit. I don't even think like the urban kids think like that when they get frustrated to go shoot up the for some reason we gotta analyze what's causing that. But the main factor is they all got good, like not good. I don't know what's a good family, but they all fed right and they living right and they living. You know what I mean? They got money. They not poor kids that's worried about what they're gonna eat the next day and shit like that. So yeah, man, I don't know.
Which I would argue is probably not the reason, but definitely an adding cause to why they wind up doing this is because most middle class to middle upper class people that live in the suburbs, primarily white, but not always. Like you said, like in comparison, when you have inner city kids, it's not the same. They don't be doing that same shit running to school like that. But these kids in the suburbs, they have it pretty easy as far as the game of life goes. Their parents got a few bucks. They're in a good school, getting an education. They don't live in an urban society. They certainly don't live in a ghetto. You know what I mean? So like these kids really don't have much. They haven't had much strife in their life, right? So I'm not for all, but for a good portion, I imagine, don't understand how to handle, negativity like that, being picked on, being bullied, getting beat up, that kind of shit. They don't face it very often. You know what I mean? They mostly live in a sheltered world. And then when shit starts happening to them, they don't know how to handle it properly. And I mean, I would hope it takes a while before these kids even consider shooting these fucking schools up. But, it's a problem that needs to be looked into. Obviously, nobody seems to be doing anything worthwhile about it. And I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's all politics, but just like you brought up the left, and the left will probably bring up the right. My thing is, fuck all that. We need to figure out what's going on. Get you know what I mean? Like I said, I think detectors in all the schools and real security in all the schools should be in the budget. Real tight security, especially like in prestigious colleges that's building our future. These kids are supposed to be our future. You feel me? And
well,
the
colleges do have security for sure. But what it is with, especially with the Brown shooting, like that's the last college you would ever expect that kind of shit to happen. You know what I mean? It's an Ivy League school. It's in Providence. You know what I mean? In Rhode Island, it's kind of out of the fucking way. It just doesn't make sense, which is, it's pretty good reason why security would have been caught slipping or was slow to do something. But, you also have to consider, what does a security guard at a college make? How much money does a security guard at a college make? I imagine it's not that much, and it's sure as shit is not enough.
That's why I said real security. I know every school got some type of security. Everywhere got some. I'm talking about some real, you know what I mean? Some Let's get some
No, I hear
police.
you.
Yeah, get that in the budget to where it's a whole new situation where it's like a real force in the schools.
Yeah,
Something like
I
that.
agree.
But you know,
like you said, our children are our future, right? Obviously, and children are innocent. You know what I mean? Like they haven't been around long enough to do any awful things where they would even be anywhere near deserving of some shit like that to happen to them. So it's definitely a crazy problem, and it's just like it seems like nobody with any power is doing a goddamn. It makes zero sense to me. I don't get it.
that's the sick shit about it though. About America, like they targeting the schools. That's the weird shit. I ain't gonna say America because that happens in other countries too, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But when it is usually some war stuff, some real crazy stuff going on, war crimes or this and that. But this shit right here is like an anonymous. I don't even know what's going on and why and how. You feel me?
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I was going to say, and of course, you know, without even thinking about it, we already know exactly what the words are going to be. You know, from the left about this is gun control and taking guns out of the hands of people and making guns illegal, and it's just like, dude, it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work. You know, you're not allowed to have a gun in any major city in New York. I mean, in the United States, most major cities in the United States. You're not allowed to have a gun. You're not allowed to get a permit to carry or anything like that. Yet the biggest numbers as far as murder goes in the United States are in these urban fucking cities where they're shooting people up, man, and the guns are illegal. But that doesn't matter because in case nobody pays attention to it, criminals do criminal shit. And getting an illegal gun really isn't that big of a deal if that's how you're living. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so whether or not the government makes them legal or not that possessed, people are still going to get them. So you might as well make them legal so that good people can have them to protect themselves and their loved ones and their community.
Yeah, but that argument is dead. That argument is dead. I hope the left know it. They probably still would, but that argument, come on now, let's cut it out. A kid could take a butcher knife to school and put in some work or whatever else. So really that ain't the issue. If somebody smart people would know, but I guess politicians with an agenda would use that and bring that up now, I guess. But yeah, that shit is, come on now. That's not
also you have to understand with the whole, not even necessarily school shooters, but just in general, like the shooting, and every time there is one, they want to take the guns away and this, that, the third. And it's just like, you know, they've been back and forth on this subject for a long time. But all you got to do is look to other countries that don't allow weapons, like Australia. I think it was like 10 years ago, took all their guns back. Like, they made everybody turn their guns in. You know, there was a match, something like that. So they did like a turn in your gun drive, and they got like 98% of the guns out of the civilians' hands. But then what happens now? So now you have a situation in Australia where they're being shit on by their government. You know what I mean? Like, they're in a situation kind of like Canada, where like they thought they were like America, like they had freedom and all that. And then as soon as COVID hit, that's when all of a sudden these nations and countries started finding out that they don't really have, a government that operates like American. They don't have, liberty like we do. And we saw that happen to Canada, and we saw it happen to Australia. So once Australia had all the people turn their guns in for public safety, and they did it, then all of a sudden the government just started doing and saying whatever it wanted, because there's no fear of reprisal or uprising from a nation of people who are defenseless. And that's what it's all about. People think it's just about like hunting and fishing. Absolutely not. That's a byproduct, but the main reason for having legal weapons, legal guns, is to protect yourself, but mainly it's to keep the United States government in check. You know, it's to stop the possibility of the spread of a tyrannical government against the people. And that's the only reason we need or have guns in this country. The second, and you can look at it throughout history and very recent history, anytime a government tells its people that they need to get rid of their weapons and their weapons need to come off the streets, as soon as that happens, they get the guns off the streets, and then the politicians in the government doing whatever they like, bad decisions, like shit that people don't approve of. You know what I mean? And that's the type of shit that happens when you don't have any power. And I hate to say it, but when it comes down to, a fight, weapons equal power. And if you take the power away from the people, then the government does whatever it wants. And we see it across the world and throughout history. It happens. That's what happens. So that's the reason we need to keep our guns, but we need.
Funny how you're making this about a gun argument, but and I'm glad you brought up Australia. Let's check this out. Another tragic situation.
Holiday celebration at Sydney's Bondi Beach. It's for the first night of Hanukkah. Police are investigating the mass shooting as a terrorist attack. KTLA's Aaron Myers is live in Pico Robertson with more about what we know about this terror investigation and how it's.
You're saying that's because the people are in duress because of what happened. We don't know why, but you're just saying like this derives from what's going on out there before this with the government. You saying? Or was you getting at that?
Right. Well, I was just saying that, they took all the guns from the public back in, like 10 or whatever years ago because of a mass shooting. And the people were more than happy to give them up. You know what I mean? Because, they saw the issue and they said, okay, maybe this will help. But yeah, then despite being no guns allowed in Australia, these two came across machine guns and handguns and they shot a bunch of people. And it's, if anybody else was out there that was personally carrying, maybe less people would have been hurt, but
people are sent on missions too. On my conspiracy shit, people are sent on missions to do shit to change up stuff, but that's another story. We'll get into that later. But let me just finish this because I want to hear the exactly what's going down out there. 11 people, damn. Hold on, man.
Reverberating here at home, and Aaron, I know at this hour we have a lot of new reaction locally.
Hi, you two. Good morning. Well, we know that Jewish organizations are being told to take precautions at locations and at events, and I'll have more on that in just a moment.
That's even more to bring awareness, when you attack these type of places. Unfortunately, now that, so, but man, this is crazy. The biggest one was,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Nah, go ahead.
A mass shooting incident. It's a terrorist situation, and it's also it's anti-Semitic, man. They literally attacked Jewish people on the first day of Hanukkah at a Hanukkah celebration. But it wasn't just Jewish people there; it was all sorts of people there. But it was an attack on Jewish people specifically as a hate crime, and man, that's crazy. The last place you would expect that would be Australia, but that's where it went down.
Could this be related to the Palestine situation and all that too? Or was it
for sure.
History of
it definitely is. It's not like the guy has to say free Palestine for this. Like what it comes down to is an attack on Jewish people, and the reason is because like there's a war going on right now and people are very vocal about not liking it. All of a sudden there's a mass shooting. So I'd say it absolutely has to have something to do with Palestine. That's one of the motives, at least one.
That's pretty disgusting.
I agree.
I mean, they want to, I guess, they feel like that's the only way to get I don't know I'm not trying to put myself in, in their psyche, but I'm just saying, it's just like,
what it is. 100% I can tell you what it is. It's not about, get back or anything like that. It's the fact that radical now, I'm not saying every day, but radicalized Muslims, they believe that everyone needs to be a Muslim. Either you convert or you die. And that's the bottom line. They consider anybody not Muslim to be infidels, and you cannot just live in peace separately. You must be converted or you must die. And that's
the radicals. Let's make that clear. The radicals. Yeah. Well, I can't rock with that, radicals. I'm sorry. I feel like everybody respect all religions and everybody got a right to live life the way they want. That's how I'm rocking it. So fuck out of here.
Any radicalized religious individual, they're stupid dangerous, and I fucking do not like any of them, obviously. But religion's a great thing. religious people is awesome for sure, regardless of the religion. Most of them are, good-hearted things.
So they stand for something.
But but there's people out there that like to twist words, and they like to, fit religious passages and teachings. They like to fit those into their twist them and fit them into their ideological ways and use it as an excuse to kill. And that's the worst thing in the world, is that every time people go to war or anytime people are killing people, it's always God's on our side. They always throw God's name into it. You know what I mean? They're killing people in the name of God, and it's just I have a feeling God wouldn't be too down with that in the first place.
Makes no sense.
Ridiculous.
In the name of the creator that created us, you're taking away people. I don't understand that. But,
how ignorant. For people who believe in God, people who have faith, it's so ignorant for them to turn around and murder people that have nothing to do with anything, and then use God's name and say it's in the name of God. That's not the case. You know what I mean? The Bible says, or whatever, not even the Bible, just in general, the 10 Commandments, right? Says one of the commandments, thou shalt not kill. Well, that translation isn't actually 100% correct. The proper translation is thou shalt not murder, because there is a difference. There's a big difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
You have people that, as far as military service goes, especially during a time of drafts, people are conscientious objectors, meaning they don't believe in the war. They don't believe in wars in general, and they're not about to go out and fight a war and kill people. But the bottom line is, and the reason they say is because it's a sin, and I do get that 100%. I get that, especially for very faithful people. However, if it's thou shalt not murder instead of kill, well, that changed a lot of things, because that means, and if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, because God, Jesus, or any kind of religious individual, they want you to be around. They don't want you to die. They want you to live so that you can carry on the faith. You can bring other people into
spread the word.
So if someone's trying to hurt you or kill you, and you don't do anything back or stop them because the religion says thou shalt not kill, do anything, you wind up dying. But if it's thou shalt not murder, someone attacks you, you defend yourself by having to unalive somebody, then that's not a sin, because it would be a sin not to defend yourself and to let the person kill you, because that person is trying to kill you for no reason is not of God. And if you are who is of God, you need to do everything in the world so you can keep pushing the message, keep your faith, spread the religion through children and making people aware and stuff. So, if it's thou shalt not kill, that's a problem. But if it's thou shalt not 187, then that's understandable at that point to defend yourself and all that.
I'm not super religious, but I totally agree with what he's saying right there. I agree with that. That's making some kind of sense there.
But as you said, Australian officials, they are considering this a terrorist attack. And we do have video we can show you. This is when shots rang out, and I want to warn you that it may be disturbing.
Wow. Now, do you know if they captured these fools or not? Because
they killed one of them on site. And then the other one, I believe he got away, but then was captured. I know he's captured. So they have one dead and one in custody. They were a father and son, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that we didn't capture that boy over there in Brown, whoever's on the run still. That's kind of crazy and embarrassing as an American, you feel me? His ass should have been with that skewer.
I thought they had somebody in custody for the Brown shooting.
They got somebody, but I think one dude's still on the run. Am I tripping? That's what I was just saying.
Oh, no, my bad. I didn't realize there was two of them. That makes more sense. Okay. Yeah. But they will catch these people. You can't get away from anything these days, man. They will always catch these people.
Or find them in the ditch, that he killed himself type shit.
God willing.
Man, look at this. Australia, bro. I've never been there. What is it like? How is it out there? Because I heard they love black people and stuff, and I heard but I also heard that there's a big anti-Semitic community out there. Do you know anything about Australia? You hear me?
I've never been. However, I know that. Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I hear you. I'm sorry, it was a delay.
Bush?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So as far as I know about Australia, they're a Western country, so they have pretty much the same shit that we do as far as rules and laws. As far as racism goes, I mean, I don't really know that much about it, but I do know that they had an issue in their history with the Aborigines. The native people there, how they went about, displacing them and all that shit. But I know the one of the few things I know about Australia is that they're very different than the United States, basically on domestic violence. I know it's in their culture, it's acceptable to scream at or even slap up a woman, most likely your wife or girlfriend. But yeah, it's I know people in the military that when they were sent out there on their deployment to go out to Australia and serve their overseas deployment there, they were told before they even landed, like, yo, listen, if you're out and about in public or going somewhere or doing something, just know that in their culture, it's not like uncommon for a man to slap a woman or to scream at a woman. So when you're out and about, they tell these young Marines, this is part of their culture. If you see it, we know it's buggy. Don't get involved. It's part of their culture, and it'll cause a major incident as well. So as much as it sucks, fellas, you got to just ignore that shit if you see it. So I know that's cool there. So who knows, man? But for the most part, it's a pretty peaceful place.
I'm finding out now that it was father and son. That says a lot. Let's watch this short clip.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was a father and son duo.
Horror and heroin.
Oh, you said that? I'm sorry. I didn't even hear you. You said, damn, father and son. But and shout out to this hero here, because even though they're not in America, they're in the great land of Australia. He did something. He jumped in. He was heroic. I feel like America don't have a lot of heroic shit like this. America don't have a lot of that left. We more on minding my business to get the hell out the way and don't make sure I don't get no bullets in me. This dude, he did some crazy heroic shit. Shout out to him. You know what I mean?
You see what happens when people do step up and try to help. You see what happens in America, man. Those people go to jail and shit, and they wind up on trial.
Oh boy, yeah. Step up and trying to help. No, I'm talking about. I know what you're trying to refer to, but no, you can't step up in America and shoot people. That's not what you can do to help. You can't choke somebody out and kill them. That's not how you help. This dude is actively shooting people with an assault rifle. Dude jumped up and stopped them. You feel me? He wasn't on the train or whatever, doing some weird stuff.
Yeah, but check it out. Did this guy shoot the guy when he took the gun from him?
Did he? I'm not sure.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did. But what I'm saying is if you disarm the guy, no reason to shoot the guy for sure. But the thing is aside from rifles, these guys had pistols. And I know in this video, after he gets the gun out of the guy's hand, you see the dude then going for the pistol. I don't know what happened after that. But
that's
one of them's dead, so he might.
Yeah, why don't we know what happened after that? Maybe it's because I got to do the research. But yeah, like we can't compare that. Like if you see somebody shooting somebody and you jump in, that's pure heroism. If somebody other than that, all the other shit, fuck all that, because it really let the police do their job. Unless somebody's killing somebody, that's what I think.
Like getting saying I'm going to kill you and then fucking attacking somebody, like. Yeah.
So if somebody say I'm going to kill you and attack him, that's saying he meant to kill him. That's not what I'm. But other than that, like there's a lot of shit where people just want to be heroes so bad, and they just come home from war and just whatever they super right, and they just so they already annoyed and mad at whatever's going on, so they waiting for the chance to jump in and be the hero and show, you know what I mean? And sometimes they go too far. They end up choking a nigga too much or doing too much because of the hate.
Yeah, no, I know what you're referring to, and I completely agree with what happened in that situation, to be honest. Fucking that person that wound up getting choked to death was a fucking savage. He's been in and out of prison and jail for fucking extreme fucking physical abuse and violence. He broke some fucking 80-year-old woman's nose previously.
So that's you. That deserves
Yeah,
death to you. But it doesn't
no,
to me.
not at all. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you know damn well I don't believe that. What I'm saying is when you have someone with a really fucking shitty background who's done nothing to help himself, needs to be on serious medication to keep his ass from wilding out, but refuses to do that, also on drugs, and has a violent criminal history, to then be on a train with a bunch of people and threatening people, especially an older woman, and saying he's going to kill her when he actually has open cases for violence against older women. Like, no, this dude needs to be
Dead
fucking
wrong in this
stopped.
one, buddy. You
I'm
don't
not
touch
saying the guy needs to
nobody,
kill you,
hero, unless the dude he grabbed that girl and have her by the neck ready to kill her. That's when you jump in. Other than that, you mind your fucking business. If you're so concerned, call the police and say, "Hey, this guy's over here acting crazy over here." If he not touching nobody, it's not your right to jump in and choke him out.
Plus, you can't do that shit on a subway. You can't make a phone call. Plus, you're on a train. What the fuck?
I know that,
Plus,
but
the
he
cops are never
like,
gonna about
like
it.
I said,
This guy,
if he's not
this guy
touching nobody,
in the chokehold. He put the dude in the chokehold.
That was a good move, and now look at him. His dumb ass is in jail, dummy.
No, he's not. He got out. What are you talking about? He fucking
he got out?
did not. He was in jail. He got out. He's found innocent. Like, the guy said, "I'm going to kill you," and then attacked people. What the fuck? And this guy was a Marine. All right, this is the type of person who was trained how to fucking handle bullies, and that kid got handled.
Yeah, he got handled for sure.
Look, I'm not calling for people to be killed in the street. Look, I'm not about that life. But when you have someone who's a violent criminal threatening and then going after people, and then you got a young Marine standing next to him.
Funny how you're ignoring the mental issues that he had. That's well reported.
Yeah, he had serious mental issues. No, I didn't ignore that. I said he has serious mental issues. I said he refuses to take his medication, and then on top of that, he's on drugs.
This is bullshit. Bullshit.
But that's what happened. That's what happened.
This is a good old fashioned spat right here. You know how we do. We've been doing this for years. This motherfucker is on some bullshit. Fuck him. He should have got a couple. You can't kill him if you that skilled. Do your thing and don't kill the motherfucker. Don't take a human life because you don't know what the fuck is going on. Now, you're right. I don't blame him for what happened. It happened. It's not like I don't think he went out to, I'm going to kill a motherfucker today type shit.
No.
But it got out of hand.
Not at all. That's craziness.
Yeah, I know that.
It's a fucked up situation. I'm not saying like I like what happened, but it just goes to show that if you do wind up standing up for somebody and trying to help them, you're still going to wind up on trial. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, man. This country's got a screw loose. Like I don't really. We just do nonsensical shit. Just because the rule says you can't kill someone, when it comes down to somebody stopping somebody from killing somebody,
that's a screw loose. We made laws. We made laws, and that's what it is. So now it's a screw loose, but we made the laws. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we made these laws in the 1800s. They can be updated. It's still a crime to kiss your wife in Connecticut on a Sunday.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's
weird. But so what I'm saying, so you're saying you want to change, you want a new law that says if I'm out in the street and I see some crazy drunk, mental ill, crazy motherfucker going crazy and he threatening people, I got the right to jump in and take him out, basically.
No, well, no. Vigilantism is illegal, and
that's what it sounds like to me. What you're saying, I don't understand. How is that not what you're saying?
Well, vigilante justice is different. That's like a vigilante is when like you're out looking for somebody that's committing crimes, and then like
that's not what I'm. That see how you slick with it. I ain't say nothing like that. I said what you're saying based off of that case that happened. You're saying any citizen, American citizen that as a law-abiding, righteous guy that might have the training or whatever else has the right to jump in if he hears somebody threatening, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
No, they don't. They don't
take
have a
him
right.
out.
That's what I'm saying. The vigilante justice is a crime. It is a crime. And I agree with it. It should be, because if you make vigilantes or being a vigilante legal, you're going to have a lot of people out in the street committing serious crimes over the slightest infractions. If you make it so that being a vigilante is legal, you're gonna get somebody to tell somebody to go fuck himself, and that person's gonna kill them for it, because that shit don't work. We have cops for a reason. But in the moment, when there's no one else there, if somebody were to subdue a criminal, I said subdue, not kill. So stop a criminal without waiting for the police. I totally agree with that. But again, being a vigilante is a crime in this country. So if you do that and you hurt somebody, you're going to get in trouble, or at least be on trial.
Yeah, because there's no way to gauge if you had having a bad day or if you just pissed off about whatever else, or you're a racist, undercover racist, or this or that.
Sure.
So it's like it's better to mind your fucking, unless the lady was in immediate danger, or anybody.
He was in her face, fucking screaming at her, saying he was going to kill her. He was, and they were on a train.
God. Like, yeah, that's not immediate danger. He could do all that all he wants. Did he touch her? Did he grab her?
No, we've seen.
We've
seen. Not immediate danger. What do you mean? This girl sat down on a train fucking a couple of months ago, sat down, and then this dude stood up and stuck a knife in her neck multiple times. You know?
No, he did that. Yeah, he did that from behind it. Or didn't? Yeah, that was a fucked up man. That was crazy.
100%. But I'm saying this is the shit that happens when you get on a fucking train these days. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy.
You're right.
And it's because people aren't allowed to defend themselves. There were no cops there, and she was an easy mark.
You know what we do though? We take one. We always take a case and make it the whole general thing. When millions of people ride trains every day, millions of females every day, and then this one incident, and now you're going to throw that in like it's a thing that happens.
No, it's not one incident. What do you mean? There was a woman that was lit on fire last week, and then 2 years ago.
That has those two incidents do not add up to the millions of females that ride trains every day and safely every day. This is it's a numbers game. You can say that now, use that now, but like, come on, there's going to be incidents. Sorry, when you got millions of people riding trains.
Look, 10 years ago, a train wasn't the safest place in the world, but right now, New York City trains subway system is off the hook with violence and danger. It's crazy these days. It's gotten worse.
I don't know. I take the train. I don't know if you do.
You're also a grown fucking man. You're a grown man. You got a razor blade in your pocket. No, check it out. You're a grown fucking man. You're a big dude. You got a razor blade in your pocket at all times. You know how to handle yourself, and you're not looking around like a weak chump. You know what I mean? Like, you're a New York City dude. Like, other people,
you're destroying New York's reputation with this political driven fear mongering. It ain't like that on these trains out here. People,
look,
trust
I think the trains.
If you listen to him, you'll be scared to get on the train out here. It ain't like that.
I'm not afraid to get on the train. Give me a break, man. I've been taking the train.
I said if the people listen to you, they'll be afraid to get on trains out here.
They shouldn't be scared, but they should be paying
about two crazy incidents. The lady got set on fire, and then the lady got stabbed in the neck. Crazy ass shit. Yeah,
there was three, because I mentioned the woman who got set on fire 2 years ago as well.
If you want to match up to the statistics of the females, you got to say way more than that. But I hear you.
There is way more than that. Come on, listen. The trains have notoriously forever in New York been a fucking violent, dangerous place for sure.
Yo,
you know that. Dude,
I don't know that. Actually, I don't.
2 years ago.
It's not that crazy. It's not that crazy anymore. Back in the 80s, I just watched a documentary. In the 80s, it was crazy. They saying now it's like fucking
had to get together.
Just because now it's so cool that when something happened, it's like magnetized on the fucking. That's what he said. It's like it's so good now that if one thing happened, it's the biggest thing ever. Back in the day, that shit used to happen all the time. Mad at all.
Do you remember 2 years ago? Do you remember years ago when New York City had to bring the fucking National Guard into the subways? Yeah, they're still there, dude.
Okay, I just want to know your point. My point before I let you hear your point is the subways are safe for the most part out here. People ride them safely, old women, young women, all day long, every day, and it's cool. You want to be out there late night or something, maybe, or on a winning lottery, you might get an incident like that type of shit. But it ain't all the time. Subways are safe. But that's my point. That's all I'm trying to say. But what's your point? You're saying that subways are dangerous and stay away from them. That's what you're saying, basically.
I mean, subways are inherently dangerous in New York, yes. And ever since COVID, and even before that, when they shut down all mental institutions in the 80s, but then with this whole thing with COVID, a lot of people that shouldn't have gotten out of jail got out of jail. It seems like all the people that got out of jail are the ones that shouldn't have, and the people that got left in jail are the ones that should have gotten out. That's how it seems to me. But yeah, I mean, with that, especially during COVID, we saw New York City subways, the violence ramped up and it got crazy quick. And it's been crazy ever since. You have a lot of mentally ill people out here. Just in general, I'm not even talking about New York, just we have a lot of mentally ill people who aren't on medication. No one's keeping an eye on them. They should most likely be in some sort of medical, institution, but they shut that shit down, and we really don't have insane asylums anymore. And even if we did, so many people are getting let out, immediately from jail. You got people who like cutting bodies up, dismembering them, and scattering them across state parks in Long Island, and they were out of jail that night with a friggin' ankle monitor on them. That's insane. That's insane.
That sounds crazy. I gotta look into that. I don't know what you talking about. That sounds crazy.
I tell you what,
cutting bodies up and then they
research
was released the same night.
Yeah. No, well, it was the next day, but yeah. Do you don't remember? That was just last year in Long Island. That was crazy. The reason I remember is because they dumped part of the bodies in Bethpage State Park, where is a place where I used to live, but not in the state park, of course. But for our next show, I'll go through and do some research just about the train shit in New York City, because that is crazy. It's never bothered me.
I guarantee you see it go down like this, the violence on the trains. I guarantee you.
I'll have to look into it. I just know it's been a common story. I just know that for sure. But I'll look into it.
Really.
I'll look into it. But again, you have to understand, for me and you, for guys like me and you, it's very different for us to ride a train than it is for like.
No, I know that. Trust me. Yeah, I factor that in for sure. But at the same time, shit, I'm not playing with these YNs out here either. But that's another story.
Yeah, no, bro.
Let me finish this so we can get on to the bread and butter tonight, man. But I just want to hear the final update. This is like a short video, I think.
Wisdom. Thousands running for their lives down Sydney's famous Bondi Beach. As police say, two shooters, a father and son, opened fire with long guns on a Jewish community event celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. At least 15 people were killed, including a 10-year-old girl and a Holocaust survivor, and around 40 more wounded in what authorities say was a targeted terrorist attack.
An act of evil anti-Semitism, terrorism that has struck the heart of our nation.
Of the two gunmen, the father was killed, police say. His 24-year-old son in custody in critical condition. Three law enforcement sources tell NBC News the son's name is Naveed Akram.
You know what's sad though? Because kids, we know are brainwashed, you feel me? Like, you know what I mean? They're born innocent, but they become this based off of whatever the best brainwasher. And I think his dad obviously was that. And he's alive in critical condition after he killed all these people. And his dad is dead. Like, why would you I never understood the your son, the son and pops duel. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't understand how a parent can teach their child to hate and to be violent, and then to take them out on a fucking mission to kill people. I don't understand how you could do that to your child, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
So he in critical.
But I'm not surprised at who it turned out to be.
Yeah, because it reminded me of that movie I did, Blue Caprice, with about the DC sniper, and he had his son, his stepson or whatever out there doing the work with him, and now he's doing. But my thing is, you got to have some real like hate in you to do that, to make that sacrifices. Like my kid is going. You know what I mean? They really believe that.
It's scary how like serious people are about hating. It's really disturbing.
Speaking of hate, rest in peace to Rob Reiner, and his wife.
Yeah.
Some people like these YNs nowadays, they take the hate to the grave and beyond. They make fun of the dead and things like that.
Kicking candles.
Yeah, all that type of stuff. Trump is Trump is like the leader of the YNs. The YNs love him. So I don't know, but let's get into this story and then we'll talk about it, man. But rest in peace to the legend, though. He is a legend for sure in America. And
Hollywood icon Rob Reiner has been taken into custody after both of his parents were found dead in their home last night. CNN's Josh Campbell is in Los Angeles. Josh, I know you've been talking to sources. What are you learning about this arrest?
Yeah, Dana, a significant development in this incident. As you mentioned there, we're told that the son of Robin Michelle Reiner is now in police custody. That according to jail records. Now, he's being held on $4 million bail on a type of felony charge. However, the records do not indicate what that specific charge is, whether that's specifically in connection with this case. We're waiting to actually.
And he got the money too. His parents did.
I did hear from a law enforcement source last night after we began reporting on these tragic deaths.
Hey, that's kind of crazy though. How you think that go? Is the money his or what?
I mean, no, well, but first off, I mean, I don't know what kind of money this kid had, but I know that he's been in and out of drug rehab since he was 14 or 15. He's been homeless, a bunch of times as well. As far as money goes,
this says a lot.
I don't think he had any of his own. He had family inheritance coming. Now, when you murder someone, I don't think you get that money.
Oh, I hear you. But if there's a will and his name is on it, in the case of deceased, like how do they,
Sure.
But unless there's some stipulation, like unless you're a suspect to their murder, like I don't know, like
Well,
that's
no,
kind
I
of
mean, yeah, but what it'll go to is obviously like if you have an inheritance coming from someone and then you go ahead and unalive that person, aside from jail for life, if not the death penalty, but you don't get that money because if you wind up whacking somebody out, you get their money. Obviously, that inheritance is not going to come to you. I don't know legally exactly how it works, but he ain't going to get shit. But it doesn't matter. He's going to be in prison for the rest of his life anyway.
Okay, but the Menendez brothers, how are they fighting their legal? But didn't they get the money or no? I gotta look that up.
No,
they didn't, right? Okay, they just got help from people.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, you can. I believe I don't think that they were paying their lawyers. I think their lawyers were doing it, pro bono, which is basically free.
Oh, it was high profile.
I mean, that's not necessarily the case. I'm saying, like for everybody else to go through appeals processes, they have to pay their. But this one, they may not have. Plus, who knows what kind of money they had in their bank accounts? They may not have been waiting for an inheritance. Their parents may have already dapped them up with a bunch of money in their accounts, so they may already have had the money to hire lawyers if that was the case. But it didn't work out for them. They didn't get out.
Well, this could get complicated, and you can see the judge put the bail at $4 million. Like he does that, like they do that when they think the people got that type of access to that type of money. Like his parents are dead. Is he the only child or something? No, he got a sister who.
No, I believe there's 3 children. He's got a brother and a sister. One brother is a major stand-up comic. I don't know what the sister does, but I know the sister is the one who found their parents. She lives across the street. So when she came over, she found them like that. That's awful.
Well, she's rich. If she live across the street, she rich. She's not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they all got dough. Like apparently the kid, the murderer, aside from having a checkered background with drugs and homelessness, he was a screenwriter. That doesn't necessarily mean he sold any screenplays or anything like that necessarily, but that's apparently what he did. But like I said, with your father being Rob Reiner, I would imagine you got a few bucks in the bank, but $4 million for bail is a lot of coin, bro. Don't get me wrong. You got to put it all up.
Yeah, but like you said, he was going through drugs and rehab and stuff. Sometimes the parents, they cut you off when you're going through that type of stuff, and you don't, you know what I mean? They're not going to keep feeding the habit. So I don't think he got that money. I think, that's
but
crazy.
Even if he does have the money, like, cool, they let him out on bail. He's going to prison. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it
for
is
sure.
in fact him who did it. So, but I don't think he'll be able to post that bail, and that's probably why they put it at that amount. But yeah, I mean, what a horrible situation. I feel so bad for Rob Reiner.
Me too. Didn't this kid do like some acting or something? Because his face is like familiar. No.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible, like with his father being who he was, like he may have wound up, in a couple scenes here and there. I don't know if he was.
Yeah, I've seen him. I think I did.
I know he was a screenwriter.
Oh.
Police were conducting an interview with a family.
All right, let me see.
Family member at that time. Authorities calling this an apparent homicide, which was important because obviously in these types of death cases, authorities will try to assess whether a death was a suicide, whether it was an accident. LAPD saying last night they believe it was an apparent homicide. Now we're still waiting for additional details about what comes next in this case, whether the son is actually cooperating and talking with police. But again, a significant development. Their son now is in jail, Dana.
It could not get any more tragic. Josh, thank you so much for that reporting. I want to now bring in retired FBI Special
kid take you out.
Supervisory Agent Steve Moore. Steve, thanks for being here. What's your read on this situation?
Well, I think
Trump put up something on truth.com. I think that's probably another thing that had everybody going crazy, but
it was
pretty awful. What'd you say?
I said the comment apparently that he put on Truth Social. I read it. I don't like it at all. I was shocked, to be honest, that it was legit that he actually posted it, because it was just like, it was underhanded shit. It just seemed like not the right thing to say at all. I totally disagree with what he said. In my opinion, I think it's wrong.
Well, that's kind of surprising, because I guess he never got this. He never said nothing like to this level, because like I said, it's like the YNs when they disrespecting somebody that passed away type of stuff. But you knew what type of guy Trump was, and if you think he's gonna, if you cross him while you're alive, you think he's gonna still be your friend when you go. I didn't, I'm surprised he said it. I didn't, wasn't too surprised, to tell you the truth.
Oh, no, I agree. Like, I don't like what he said. I personally wouldn't have said it. I think it was just not the right time or place to make a statement like that. But, I do understand why he would be, why he would think to do something like that. I mean, you have to understand, Rob Reiner was a big time Democrat. He was a super liberal, very vocal. I know a lot of people that, were friends with him or that had dealings with him or worked with him. They all got to the point where they just couldn't handle it anymore. Like, he literally had like a really serious case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. He just, one of these people that just hates him no matter what the fucking guy does. He just hates him, and everything he does is the worst. Obviously that doesn't mean that anybody should suffer the way this man did and his wife did. It's tragic. But so I understand, you got to understand, Rob Reiner has a lot of money. So I imagine he has donated lots of money to the Democratic Party, you know what I mean? And I mean, these people literally went after Donald Trump, tried to put him in jail for the rest of his life. Also, we're trying to do the same with his son, Donald Jr., you know what I mean? So when you're dealing with shit like that, with people coming after you, real underhanded type shit, like, it wasn't like normal, you know what I mean? They were really they've been going after this guy. So after all that, when you have somebody who's a huge donator and who's very openly vocal about hating you all the time, when that person winds up dead, it's not shocking that the person that he's been talking shit about might say something a little crass. But that, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. It's still low class move by Donald Trump, and I think he's better than that personally. But
because a lot of y'all was pissed off, when when the guy passed away, and Charlie Kirk, and people said stuff like that, and I didn't like it either. That's wrong. I never respect that. But at the same time,
that's what I'm saying. I disagreed with that too.
All right, let's get into the truth. What he actually said.
That was the first thing I said when I heard this too. I was like, yo, why the fuck would this dude make this statement when we had this whole Charlie Kirk incident pop up, and the left was saying and how it was awful, the things that they were saying. And then this dude turns around and does a very similar thing when this guy dies. And it's just like, what the fuck happened to the class in this country? Nobody has any class. Nobody has any self-respect or respect for others anymore. It's getting out of control.
Yeah, but the difference is the people that said it weren't the president. They weren't of any importance for the most part.
Agreed. So, yeah, he's the last person who should ever say anything like this. Like, you're the president, man. Like, you gotta be, I don't know. be smarter than that. But whatever. Like,
but wait, let's hear what he said though. Was it really that bad? Let me just hear exactly what he said. I'm sorry.
It was underhanded.
On Monday, President Donald Trump responded to the death of Rob Reiner and on his Truth Social platform. Reiner, 78, and his wife, 68. Rest in peace. Real Mac had 10 years younger. That's how you supposed to do it. Now let me stop. Were both found dead on Sunday night in their home in Los Angeles, California. Sad tragedy. And it's really sad because the situation with the son, that's just make it like, geez, devastating. I'm like, because I got a son. It's like, I can't even imagine. That's crazy. But they say more money, more problems. You feel me?
Agreed.
In the ghetto, that's rare. When you kill our parents, that's rare. When we poor, that's rare. But it's more common in the rich that's crazy, bro. Their family confirmed their deaths in a statement. It is with profound sorrow that we announce the tragic passing of Michelle and Rob Reiner. We are heartbroken by this sudden situation. The daughter, that's the one that killed him, right? But that's the other son, right? That's got to be the rich.
The one with the glasses, I can't tell if he's in that picture or not. But that they look similar. Like, if that's not him, if that's his brother, then they definitely look similar. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's him or not.
I don't think it's him. I think that's the brother, because I've seen the picture. Announced the tragic passing of Michelle and Rob Reiner. We are heartbroken by this sudden loss, and we ask for privacy during this unbelievably difficult time. I couldn't even imagine.
No.
With the Menendez brothers, they was only 2 kids, and wasn't they adopted or something? I don't know. So that's different now.
Were they?
This situation, you got kids still alive, and their real brother did that.
Yep. I mean, this kid's gonna rot in prison for the rest of his life. If it all works out that he's the one who did it and shit. But I don't understand how people can do that, especially to your own family. It's wild to me.
So Reiner, a celebrated actor, writer, and director, was a fierce critic of Trump's and a progressive activist for decades. That's where it gets dangerous. You can't ODing too. That's where this political stuff gets crazy, bro. That's why a lot of people were scared about a person like Trump being in office, because of the hate that it'll generate from people, and people just and they'll be blinded by the good shit that Trump say, because I guess Trump's reputation and how he get down and what they know about him as far as, New York Trump.
No, I mean, well, we've touched on this many times in this podcast, but the people that hate Donald Trump because the media told them to hate Donald Trump, because before he ran for president, or before he even threw his hat into the election, people loved him. You know what I mean? The hood loved him for very good reasons. He did a lot. He did a lot in the 90s for hip hop and for, just for the culture in general.
We love him.
We love him. Song mentioned him. They all loved him. And then all of a sudden he, decides that he's going to run for presidency. And then the media just came out and just painted him as this horrible, awful racist. And everybody just picked it up and ran with it like it was true. But it wasn't, but whatever.
I got a conspiracy right now. This kid, usually kids, sometimes, most of the time, sons, you have one son that rock with the pops and one son that just want to be the opposite of the pops, that hate the pops type shit. Just because he's a privileged kid, silver spoon in his mouth. This kid that did this, I guarantee he probably is a Trumper. Conspiracy theory. Sorry, this is dangerous territory. I think this kid is a Trumper. He justified that in his head, like my dad's spending all this fucking money on this, trying to like, I don't like this shit, and so he justified that in his head too. I don't know the other shit that's going to come out, but I guarantee that I ain't gonna guarantee that's stupid. But I'm just saying that's one of my theories right there. This kid is like he that's how he's going to justify it because it was so pulverizing that the hate that Reiner had, rest in peace with Trump, it became probably an issue in the household type shit too. That's why I say the politics is stupid when you get that deep involved. You find somebody you like and then you vote for them. You don't gotta like put. It's crazy, but when you got money, that's how the shit work because the campaigns got to be funded. So I guess, man, but that's.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Rob Reiner was very outspoken about, hating Donald Trump, and he's a big time liberal. Doesn't matter what somebody's political ideology is, they don't deserve anything like this.
Not at all.
Clear on that, but I wouldn't be shocked if his kid, was a Republican or, a Trumper or something like that. But his kid could also have zero interest in politics. I mean, like we said, he's got a sketchy background. I mean, in and out of drug rehab at 14, 15 years old. And then your father's Rob Reiner, but you have bouts with homelessness over the years. Like, what? That's crazy. Like, Rob Reiner could print money if he wanted to.
It's true. Because I've seen a situation that's not on the same scale as money, but it was on, I think, First 48 or something. This guy killed his whole family, but he had a drug problem. You feel me? And they wasn't trying to help him. And sometimes that could push shit over the ledge. And when you're dealing with that type of bread, that I'm sure this son was used to smoking as much as he wanted and having it how he want. But when he get under the microscope and now they like rehab this, that, and the money get cut. Yeah, desperate time. But I just feel like at the same time to justify certain shit, they do shit. They make up stuff in their head to justify it. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I can't really put my head in that kid's head, like I said. But let's move on.
Yeah. Plus, we gotta wait. We gotta wait and find out. But I know that. So that night, I guess last night, was him and his wife and his son, the one that's now being questioned, that is said to have been the murderer. The three of them were at a Christmas or a holiday party. Some celebrity, I forget who it was. You'd recognize the name, but they were at that party last night or the night before, and it was stated by several guests that the three of them had gotten into a very heated argument loudly at this party. The mother and father and the son.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe his pop started talking that political. What else? There's things they tell us we can't talk about at work. Not we can't, but it's not smart to talk about religion, politics, and there's something else. Right?
Yeah.
Well, politics and religion.
Well, I know the two big ones are religion and politics. I mean, that's the rule in every bar you walk into. Is no religion, no politics, because that's the thing that no matter what, people don't agree on it, and they will get violent over it.
Period. What would make a son go at his dad like that in public? I don't know, or because I can't see him asking for some money. Oh, Dad, give me, let me get a 10. Let me get a little 10,000. I don't know.
I don't think this was over a random ass
petty money because he could get that. It's too much. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is like a legit like heinous crime. So like it must have been an extremely emotional reaction to an argument. It's probably something that's been going on in their family for a long time, or somebody brought something up like, just a really bad situation, and then they started arguing about it. But this isn't like, let me get some money, like, no, fuck you, and then you cut their heads off. No, I ain't like that. Like there's a lot more to it, and I'm sure we'll find out a lot about it. But as of right now, we just know that they're gone and this kid's being questioned, and they're saying that that's who did it, but we don't know for sure yet.
Trump wrote, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away. Now, is that a fact? Is he tortured and struggling right now? Was he when he before he died or whatever? Or was that just some Trump?
Tortured and struggling. Yeah, no, it's underhanded. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I didn't like it. Like, it's underhanded shit. You know what I mean? Like Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but
Wow.
director. It's like this guy's Rob Reiner. He's been Rob Reiner. Granted, his huge, made him famous movies were in the late 80s, early 90s, but the guy's still around. I mean,
he's filthy
he even
rich.
acts. He was Wall Street. He played Leonardo DiCaprio's father in Wolf of Wall Street.
So wait, B-Rad, you trying to tell me Trump could just, you feel me, tortured and struggling? I forgot my point. It was mean too. I gotta get back. Damn it.
No, but check it out. That statement, it's underhanded, and it's not something I would say, but it's not untrue. Like when he says he's tortured and struggling. Well, I mean, the guy made his movies in the 80s and 90s. He hasn't put out movies recently that have been bangers like that. So I guess that could technically mean that he's struggling in his creativity and whatnot. Tortured part is that's a direct comment, I believe, to the whole how he's got Trump derangement syndrome. How like every single time Trump says or does anything, this guy's got to go fly off the handle like the rest of them do, and that's I believe what he means by a tortured individual.
I know, but his
but all of this shit, like the whole thing, it's underhanded. It's just not cool. It's what is it? I can't think of it.
Rob Reiner was not a guy that people worried about. The right worried about. I don't think. Maybe his financial.
It's money and influence. It's money and influence. You know, I mean, like it's Hollywood is known for putting their politics in films. You know what I mean? Like when you watch a lot of these movies, you might not recognize it, but if I were to explain to you, like, okay, you can see, liberal influence in this scene or that scene, and then you go back and watch the movie, and you're like, holy shit, they really do like put their politics like subverted, like not subconscious, but kind of like hidden or layered into their scripts. So when you are someone who writes movies, you have the ear of the public, and you can influence people just through a movie scene where people don't even realize that they're being influenced by it as it's happening. You know what I mean? You watch a movie and then afterwards you think differently about, a political situation or, things going on between different countries. And that's how people get their message out there. That's one of the ways. So yeah, he had a pretty big voice if you think about it, for sure.
Yeah, I hear you. Together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he calls others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump. And you know the word, what's the other word? Trump what?
Derangement syndrome.
Trump derangement.
TDS.
So it's funny how you said you don't agree with what he said and underhanded and wasn't good, but as I read it, you're nodding your head in happiness and an agreement.
No. First off, it's not happiness. You can put those shells right back in the mag, bro. That I am not agreeing with what he said. I'm acknowledging that this is the statement as you're reading it. This is what he said. But yeah, no, man. It's like I said. He's saying, we feel bad for him and, rest in peace and all that, but it's underhanded by calling him, tortured and struggling. And it's like, you didn't need to say any of that. A very simple way to say this is today, Rob Reiner passed away from, what looks to be a family situation and a homicide. Him and his wife, died, It's a very sad day for America and for Hollywood in general. Our prayers and thoughts go to the Reiner family. And that's,
but you know how crazy this is, how much of a I don't know what you could call Trump, but other people are going to be thinking about, all the older people thinking about when they die and what the president going to say. right there. It's like that's something
Yeah.
like setting an example.
But
Like,
again,
look,
you have
you my
to
op,
Rob
you're gonna
Reiner.
be my
Yeah,
op
but
when
Rob
you
Reiner
die
was very
too. That's YN shit.
Rob Reiner was very outspoken about hating Donald Trump. Like, you know, like I'm not saying that that's justified for him to say some trashy shit like this when someone dies. I don't agree with that at all. But I'm saying like these people, like they go after Donald Trump big time. Like her name, Rosie O'Donnell. You know what I mean? Like she fucking hates this guy, Donald
So
Trump.
you would agree that's
Says
another
all-
one that he's not going to leave a nice message if
I'm
she,
saying.
God forbid, passes away.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I do also want to. I saw an interview with Rob Reiner the other day. It was right after the Charlie Kirk thing, the assassination, and they were talking to him. And I really like what Rob Reiner had to say because you know the left really wasn't nice when Charlie died. To be honest, said a lot of awful things, which I was shocked at. But he said that it's a very sad thing. This guy obviously didn't deserve it. He said that you know,
thank you. Whoa, thank you. That's good.
Well, he said, despite what other people were saying, he doesn't agree with that. He said the man passed away. He was a young man, left a family. It's a very sad situation. People shouldn't be ripping on him for it. He also said another thing which I respected. He said, while I am a practicing Jew, you know, I'm Jewish faith and I'm practicing in my religion. He said, but I agree with teachings and the word of Jesus Christ. He said, I believe in forgiveness. I believe in you know loving your neighbors and other people. You know what I'm saying? So he said, even though I'm of the Jewish faith, I still acknowledge and you know believe in the words of Jesus Christ and the ideas he had to pass. Doesn't mean he believes he's the Son of God, but he acknowledges that what Jesus' message was a good message, regardless of who you are. So I thought that was very cool. Said, yeah, Rob Reiner's a really cool guy. Look, the bottom line is when you take politics are crazy, and you're never going to match up with somebody poor. You know, it's a crazy situation.
Because if he was effective in any way
Like
against Trump, if he was effective in any way, of course Trump is going to say, "Oh, he's obsessed," or "He's this," or whatever, the Trump syndrome, whatever y'all say. But that's because he was effective. If he wasn't, then there'll be no words about nothing.
Of course. And again, like I said, I don't agree with what this guy said, but you know, I just didn't like what he said. But I can kind of understand it when people come at you. Now all of a sudden you got to be nice because they died. Like you know, if these people hated him, he has every right to be a nasty asshole about it when they die.
Well,
but
you don't have to be nice.
I respect.
I hear you don't respect it, but we spoke on the last Bull Raz show about Chicago and the YNs and the disrespect of the dads and things like that. And example of of a leader, I guess we moving on. It's the newest, the future, or whatever else. That's what y'all want. Y'all voted it, but if you're speaking like that, then you got to understand where they get it from. They all love. They look up. They like Trump. They've been loved Trump. All that, you know what I mean? It was about money when we learned about capitalism from Trump, and we hit them streets hustling and doing our thing, and then we learned about what's going on now with the politics, all that from Trump. Ruthless, foul, be popular, disrespectful, give a fuck about nobody else.
He's the 50 Cent of politics for sure.
Derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as PDS. I'm sure he made that term up, huh? He had to.
No, I don't know who coined it, but it wasn't him.
He did. I guarantee you he did. He signed off. Yeah. You know he did. Come on, man, please.
I think it's like a legitimate, like I think it's like
it's legitimate because he the president. He said it's called this. Yeah, it's legitimate. Shit, he the president. Yeah, it's legit. Here's the thing. Because he the president. Yeah. And that's what it is. Just like dissing the dead is a thing. Because he do it. He just dissed them. He dissed the dead. That's bad. That's worse than the YNs. The YNs don't do that. The YNs don't say, "Oh, this is deranged crazy."
I mean, we know he's been like that. He's been like that. Like that guy Al Baghdadi that they blew up and killed. You know, the guy from ISIS or whatever. Like they blew this guy up and like that. He's like, he died like a dog, and all that. Yeah. So that's crazy.
I mean,
But yeah,
I always,
no
see, I'm in the middle with all this shit. I'm not right, left. I'm not religious. I'm not nothing. I'm just a mutual, non-biased dude speaking from my experiences. But you know, these kids in America got to toughen up a little bit. I'm sorry, because it could go down any time, and we could be invaded or some weird stuff, and we think we safely protected because we American, and then them whatever come through. We got countries that hate us. Countries that look at us as number one ops, powerful countries too.
Sure, dangerous, but it also doesn't help that we just let 10 to 20 million people in the country without really checking out who they were. A bunch of them are terrorists, and now they're here lying in wait until they get that word, and then they go out and do some shit. It's not gonna be good.
We started the terrorist list with the 9/11, and then other places got added on. Those other places weren't on that list at the time. Maybe they are now, but they weren't at that time. Sure. They weren't coming over here to religious.
We also have to worry about, my bad. I was gonna say we also have to worry about not necessarily potential terror threats that came to this country, during the last administration, but we also have to worry about homegrown terrorists, Americans who get radicalized either online or just locally through groups of some sort, and hating. Yeah, which is a segue into a statement that came out today about a terror plot for New Year's Eve locally that was thwarted and broken up. 4 people in custody, but their plan was to blow up a building, I believe, in California and LA on New Year's.
I didn't get to finish Trump whole statement, so you want to do that, but okay.
We'll get to that.
You gotta doing segues and the other shit. I didn't even get through the segment, but go ahead. What you say though?
I mean, that was basically it. Literally, that was basically it. Just this afternoon at like 1 o'clock, right before I was leaving, I just saw a video popped up. It was on YouTube, and it was just a 35-second clip of, I don't know who it was. It wasn't Kash Patel, so I don't know if the guy was from the FBI or if he was from like DHS or Homeland or whatever. But basically, the guy just came out and said he's like, there was a terror plot planned for New Year's Eve, just a couple weeks from now. That was thwarted today. The feds or whoever came in and busted 4 individuals who are now in custody in LA County. They didn't say specifically what their plan was, but the guy who made the announcement said, this plan was thwarted. So like their plan of demolishing buildings, therefore killing a lot of innocent people, will not happen now. But apparently these 4 people that were busted, there may be more, I don't know, but they have 4 people in custody now, and they had a plan to blow up buildings, I guess, in LA on New Year's, and we're going to kill a bunch of innocent people. And they specifically said that it was a far left like group of individuals who planned this terror attack that, thank God, was stopped prior to it happening. So we'll have to look more into that and find out what's going on. But I just want the quick.
Who said it was a far left?
That was the statement. I don't know who the gentleman's name was, but he was a representative of either the FBI or Department of Homeland Security, something like that. I'll have to look.
Because you found it, your main thing was emphasizing that they were far left instead of emphasizing that these nutcases are trying to blow up. Well, here go the article. Let's watch this and then we'll talk about it.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox.
Sure.
We're following some breaking news as the FBI is saying that they foiled the planned New Year's Eve terror plot. Here's what we're getting from Fox News. This is posted to X, saying breaking, FBI announces it foiled a planned New Year's Eve terror plot that would have targeted Los Angeles for arrested. So let's dive a little bit deeper into what we know. Again, this is a developing story. Federal authorities say they disrupted a credible terrorist threat over the weekend, arresting 4 alleged members of a radical pro-Palestinian extremist group accused of planning coordinated New Year's Eve bombings in Los Angeles. The FBI told Fox News Digital that the members self-identified as part of a radical offshoot.
So you think the Australian stuff was pro-Palestinian or pro-whatever other thing?
I mean, I don't know if it was pro-Palestinian. I know it was anti-Israel, anti-Jewish. They attacked a Jewish celebration on the first night of Hanukkah. So I don't know if it's Palestine or whatever, but it's
Oh,
anti-Israel
okay.
and
I get it. Yeah. Copy that. All right, let me finish.
Of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, also known as TILF, an extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, and anti.
So you're identifying. I'm sorry. You're identifying pro-Palestinian with the left side.
No, this is a different thing. This one right here is the domestic terror threat to blow up a building in LA on New Year's. It has nothing to do that I know of with the attack in Australia. It's a separate incident.
No, I didn't say that. I said Palestinian. I didn't say I said the They said they're pro-Palestinian. Didn't they say that?
I don't know. Maybe they did. I'm just saying. I know the statement I saw.
Rewind it one more time. All right.
Live now from Fox, we are following some breaking news as the FBI is saying that they foiled the planned New Year's Eve terror plot. Here's what we're getting from Fox News. This is posted to X, saying breaking, FBI announces it foiled a planned New Year's Eve terror plot that would have targeted Los Angeles for arrested. So let's dive a little bit deeper into what we know. Again, this is a developing story. Federal authorities say they disrupted a credible terrorist threat over the weekend, arresting 4 alleged members of a radical pro-Palestinian extremist group accused of planning coordinated New Year's Eve bombings in Los Angeles. The FBI told Fox News Digital that the members self-identified as part of a radical offshoot of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, also known as TILF, an extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, and anti-government ideology. Now, according to the FBI, they were allegedly planning coordinated bombing attacks on New Year's Eve using improvised explosive devices, targeting 5 separate locations across Los Angeles. The agency said the 4 were arrested in Lucerne Valley, where they were believed to be preparing to test explosive devices ahead of the planned attacks. They have each been charged.
Hey, shout out to the intelligence agencies or whoever the fuck found this shit out before it went down. Man. You gotta get that out. Because I fuck with it. I give a damn. You do what you gotta do to get the information.
I don't know how they do. I don't know how they figure this shit out. Like if there's 4 dudes that are planning an attack, unless one of those dudes talks to a police officer or an agent, how the hell do they figure this shit out? It's insane. I'm glad they do, though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
With conspiracy and possession of a destructive device. The FBI saying today that a 5th individual believed to be connected to the same extremist group was arrested in New Orleans for allegedly planning a separate attack. A Turtle Island Liberation from Instagram account said its founding chapter is in Los Angeles, and its goal is to free Turtle Island, an indigenous name used to refer to North America, from the illegal American empire. Here's a quote from.
But now, and we're talking about Israel and Palestine, and Ukraine. We talked about Ukraine and Russia, and it's a thing to where the intelligence is there, and the people know. Like, only reason why somebody owns something is because of violence and war, and they took it over type shit. That's the only reason why. There's no divine nothing that makes the people. You know what I mean? So. It seems like, it's getting more dangerous out there as far as like coming in. I mean, sheesh, bro. Imagine you in your little country and the bigger powers want to come through and you like, fuck that. We got guns too. You know what I mean?
What's crazy to me, though, is so you have, look, I get it. When you have terrorists or terror groups from abroad, from different countries where, they may have been bombed by Americans or whatever. They have hatred for America. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. But when you have Americans living in America that were born here and they want to become, or they are now terrorists against our own country, they don't like the government or they don't like who's in office right now. So they're going to go and blow up a building and kill a bunch of innocent people who they have no clue who these people or if they even care about politics. But that's some deeply.
I'm not talking about that though. I'm talking about in the world. You see, they talk about the turtle, whatever. What do you say? The Turtle Island is people trying to defend something, basically, like in Palestine, just like in Ukraine. That's what I'm saying. I know, and that ain't happening in America no time soon. They know what this is. We already know that. So that's not. America wasn't even in the question. presenting to you. So I don't know what's going on. You want to start beef and start a damn. You just want to go back and forth. Let's go then, motherfucker. I don't give a damn. Be rad when you do a show in a minute. I don't care.
What I don't understand though. What I don't understand. So all these people, I don't know anything about the terrorists. You don't know who they are yet or anything like that. We just heard the story, but just in general, the people that are in America that are showing up for these pro-Palestinian marches. Look, I get it. People disagree with what's going on over there. I mean, Israel's just been indiscriminately bombing the shit out of that place and killing a lot of people. I get it. I get it. I understand both sides of it, but what I don't understand is the people that are like really into this whole pro-Palestine march movement in America. Like, these are the people that the people over there inherently hate before they even meet them. Like, you're an American, so right off the bat, you're done. They're not going to respect you. But number two, like, you have a lot of people that are representing the LGBTQ plus community. That shit don't fly in Muslim countries. You know what I mean? With devout Muslims. They don't play that. We know what they do and how they handle that in the Middle East. So, like, you have these people that are,
just want to fight the power just to fight the power. But if they really being true to life, then they need to understand.
But they don't even. But they're not even aware of how. But they're not even aware of how ISIS and the Taliban and how the Muslim Brotherhood looks at them. They don't even know that shit. Like, it's insane. They're backing terrorist organizations verbally and now physically. But these terrorist organizations look at these people like useful idiots because they're not part of their movement. The people that are representing the Middle East in this one, they don't respect these people at all. They're not like, yeah, these Americans are holding it down for us. Thinking is, wow, look at these fucking idiots who we hate, but hey, at least they're doing our dirty work and our footwork.
Well, you don't respect protests. You're American. You don't respect protests. It don't matter if I want you to.
No, I respect
protests on a major scale, and I hit the streets of protest for you. Not because I want you to love me and all that. It's because we just feel like they just feel like protesting for what they feel is right.
Right. No. That part, 100%. You better be protesting. If there's something going on and you don't like it, that's the great thing. We're supposed to protest. That's why I like it. But what is how are you going to go out and protest and now get physical and do violent shit when you're backing a group that you don't really know much about and who inherently hate you? They don't know that. Like, they literally have no clue. Some of them, not all, but some of these people, like, you see the street interviews with these young people that lean so far left, and they ask them questions like, if you're a member of the LGBT community, what do you think the people of Palestine will feel about you? What do you think the people in Hamas feel about you? And they're like, they love us. We're out here defending them. And it's like, no, bro. Like, we've seen what happens in the Middle East to people that are gay or whatever. Like, they get put in cages and set on fire, or they get handcuffed and thrown off third-story buildings, onto like boulders, and they kill these people.
Well, a lot of people feel like we're in this capitalistic society or whatever society because of back in the day there was no such thing as protests, and we gotta live, we gotta wake up, pay rent, and do this type of stuff. And they feel like if I was back then, I would have did something about it. So now when they feel like injustice is being done to another country, they feel like the only thing they could do is protest. They feel like obliged, not even like they feel obligated to do it. You feel me? And that's how I know a lot of these people too. Sure. So it's like they really passionate about that shit, and they like it's not right.
And I get it.
Out there.
I get it. I agree with. I absolutely agree with people protesting. Just because I don't agree with what you're protesting about, I believe in 100% and support our rights to protest, regardless.
But you're saying the people don't like you. I mean, there was white people protesting for black people during the civil rights movement, and we knew.
Yeah, because they had a soul and they had a conscience. Like, when wrong shit is happening, then you should stand up for it. But what I'm saying is
those white people knew that. Those white people knew that the niggas ain't like them like that. They knew that, but they still did it because they knew what was right and what's wrong.
Yeah, but that's true, to be honest, because what you have to understand is that the civil rights movement in America wasn't pro-black. It was pro-people. It was rights for all. It was
Mm.
equal rights for everybody. White,
schooled
black,
me on that
gay,
one.
Asian,
You
know,
schooled
whatever
me
you
on that
might
one.
be. But I'm saying, like, so for the most part, the people that were really, really involved in the movement, they care about people. Like, they don't look at color. Sure, there's people that absolutely supported the civil rights movement that hated white people and still did. I'm sure they had a fucking valid reason for it. Maybe not. Doesn't fucking matter. It's still their right to believe in something and to fucking protest about it. And thank God they did. We definitely live in a better place for it. At least it was, and things are starting to get out of control. But the bottom line is spreading how much hatred and all this shit is and all this racism on the news. The bottom line is when I walk out my door and I see my neighbors who are all different types, people smile and wave. You know, fucking problems with people in the street. We come from New York, and it's like it's an age-old fucking trope that if you're racist in New York, you have no fucking time to do anything but hate because everybody around you is different. You know what I mean? But the truth is they can say whatever they want on the news, but I really, really care more about what's actually happening when I walk outside, and I don't see it. It's not the same as what they make it out to be. They paint New York City, you know, for the last 20 years.
That was my point with the trains. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. But I'm just saying that is notoriously a violent place. But again, they made this whole big crazy thing out of it when, like, I think the attacks 2 years ago when they did the whole big thing about the trains and how dangerous they were, like, I think that year had less attacks than any year before it. You know what I mean? It's just whatever the media jumps on. I remember there was one year, it was like 15 years ago, there was an interview going on like 4th of July down at a beach in Florida. And right as the interview was going on the news, someone got bit by a shark, right? And then like 2 days later, someone else got bit by a shark near there. And then every day after that for the whole summer, all they did was report on shark attacks, and they called it the summer of sharks or whatever. And it turned out that there was the lowest amount of shark attacks in like 100 years since they started reporting it. But it just gets picked up in the media cycle, and then they just run with it because it's a popular thing.
Yeah.
You know?
There's an update on that terrorist case. They caught a suspect. I think they caught somebody. So let's just watch this quick clip real quick.
Member of a terror organization has been arrested here in Louisiana as the FBI says the group he was connected to was planning a New Year's Eve bombing. The feds just revealed that agents arrested 4 alleged members of a radical pro-Palestinian extremist group in California. WDSU's Elizabeth Gomez has more on how these agents were able to foil this attack.
Yeah, Randy, the FBI says that those 4 people plan to carry out an attack on 5 or more locations in Southern California on New Year's Eve, targeting what authorities are calling logistics centers. The FBI shared video of those agents arresting the individuals as they tested homemade bombs in the Mojave Desert on Friday. Now, they say that these individuals are part of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, a radical anti-government group. Authorities say they executed search warrants that revealed the group planned to place pipe bombs in backpacks, and that plan also included guidance on how to escape and properly dispose of evidence. FBI says that they also arrested a 5th person in that terrorist group right here in Louisiana.
In fact, an additional was arrested by our partners at FBI New Orleans in support of this investigation.
Person arrested in Louisiana is not directly tied to this incident, but he is a member of this group. And when they executed the search warrant out there, he posed a great threat to the agents. He threatened the agents. And so that's why he's under arrest.
And the FBI offices in California thanks the FBI field office here in New Orleans for the cooperation in this investigation and their help. The 4 people arrested will make their initial court appearance today in California in downtown Los Angeles. Live in New Orleans, Alyssa Gomez, WDSU News.
And Alyssa, the plot behind those planned bombings in California were eerily similar to the plan of Shamsu Jabbar, who was behind the New Year's Day terror attack here in New Orleans. Jabbar, as you know, placed bombs in coolers around the French Quarter and then later drove a truck through a crowded Bourbon Street when those
They all clicked up. She said they connected to the other one.
Bombs didn't detonate, killing 14 people and injuring dozens of others. We are just weeks away from that 1-year anniversary. WDSU has reached out to the city of New Orleans.
Yeah, we're going to start getting on some real American protect ourselves stuff. You know what I mean? Everybody get your license. You're legit. and protect yourself type of stuff. That's what because I don't like this. These dudes they clicked up in Louisiana. I think he was connected to them.
Orleans and the New Orleans Police Department regarding any changes to the safety plan for New Year's Eve here in the city, and we are waiting to hear back.
Yeah, what you were saying?
Yeah, it's like this was the 4 people that got arrested were in LA, and this was something that was going to go down in LA. But now, like they said, this guy isn't directly involved in it, but he is a member of the group or whatever they got going on. So they went to question him, and he got all out of pocket with them. So they arrested his ass. But like, yeah, it extends to Louisiana. So it's not just 4 idiots that were planning this shit in their garage, smoking weed or some dumb shit. This is a group. It's definitely organized, and it's across the country, apparently, from LA to Louisiana.
And if he American and he got out of pocket and he don't want to help with this case, arrest his ass, fuck him, lock his ass up. I don't give a fuck about him. If he not cooperating and figuring and trying to help with, if he's supposed to be a citizen that just a working taxi driver or whatever the hell he is, and when they come and they talk to him and he don't want to handle the business, then fuck him. If he being all aggressive and against the American agenda as far as when it comes to that type of shit, fuck that.
But it's not even just like, oh, because he did this, let's get him. I mean, it's part of the law right there. It's like, the police come to question you about a crime involving people that you're, involved with one way or another. You may not be involved with the crime, but you're involved with the people. They come to question you, and you tell them to kick rocks. That's, you're now hindering an investigation. Then that's a crime. So you play games right back with you.
Exactly. They had a bunch of shit. Hold on. They got the whole rundown because this is a fucking crazy.
Over the weekend, my office, along with the FBI, arrested members of a far left.
Shout out to y'all, man.
This is what I saw.
You seen this?
This is the guy I saw. I saw a 35-second clip of this guy.
Yeah, they're gonna have their whole rundown. These dudes had all. I just seen a picture of all the shit they had. They had blow shit up.
Anti-government.
Shout out to them for catching they punk asses.
Domestic terror cell who self-identify as the Turtle Island Liberation Front.
Wow, they had a whole name. Turtle Island Liberation Front. The fuck?
Sure, it's a sticker.
Turtle Island.
Individuals were arrested on Friday, December 12th, when the group attempted to construct and detonate IEDs out in the desert. In addition to the arrests, we executed several search warrants throughout the nation. I want to thank our partners at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Louisiana, U.S. Attorney Zach Keller, and the U.S. Attorney for the District of Massachusetts, Lee Foley, for providing valuable assistance over the weekend with a very complex and coordinated search warrants that were done. The charges we are announcing today stem from the defendants and their co-conspirators' detailed coordinated plot to bomb multiple.
There had to be some special agents. It wasn't no regular police that did this shit. It was, you know what I mean? It's intelligence.
U.S. companies on New Year's Eve. Thankfully, that plot has now been foiled thanks to the hard work of the FBI and the Department of Justice. This investigation was initiated in part due to the September 2025 executive order signed by President Trump to root out left-wing domestic terror organizations.
Okay, I didn't miss that. I ain't missed that. I see your camera came right back on. I didn't miss that.
That's what, when I heard it, I was shocked that they said that, because not that surprised, because you never hear that kind of thing ever. You never hear that, and that's what it was and what it is. And he came out and said it, but it was just, to me, shocking, because you never ever hear the media or anybody on the media talking negatively about the left like that. So it was just I was a little surprised when they said that, but it is what it is. It's the truth. So they said it. Thank God.
And he got specific. He said because of. Hold up, I don't even know how to exit this shit now. He said because of he's about to get specific. It's a specific law that Trump did. Damn, what the fuck? I messed up. Hold on. You heard him? He was getting specific though. Am I wrong? He was like, there was something that Trump did.
Yeah, no, he put in place or reinstated some kind of law or something like that, and like that's what led to this being caught, or is going to lead to them being punished for it, or something like that. But just the whole thing just caught me way off guard when I saw it. I didn't have any context. I just saw this 35-second clip of what he was saying about how they thwarted a left-leaning, organization. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I just was surprised to hear him say that, but it's the truth, and that's what happened. So I'm glad that's what he said. But it was just something that I just didn't expect to hear, to be honest.
In our country, such as Antifa and other radical groups like the Turtle Island Liberation Front. As the president made clear, recent attacks across the country have high investigation was initiated in part due to the September 2025 executive order signed by President Trump to root out left-wing domestic terror organizations in our country, such as Antifa and other radical groups like the Turtle Island Liberation.
Wowzer.
Sounds like a smart move he made.
So they was actually really extreme left-wing to that. Wow. There's going to be conspiracy. They're going to be conspiracy saying they got set up and saying that this and that, I guarantee. But wow, I'm glad their asses got caught.
Front. Sure. As the president made clear, recent attacks across the country have highlighted the grave threats posed by these far-left domestic terror groups. These threats are sophisticated, organized campaigns of targeted intimidation, radicalization, threats, and violence designed to silence opposing speech, limit political activity, and direct policy outcomes, and prevent the proper functioning of a democratic society. In direct response to the president's order, the Attorney General issued a memo to our offices implementing and mobilizing federal law enforcement to prioritize and counter domestic terrorism and political violence investigations. As a result of those directives, we built this case. Both my office and the FBI have invested substantial resources into investigating and charging.
Can't hear you. Think you're me.
Sorry, my bad. It's just so hard for me to believe that these dudes had an organization. They was really plotting like that to do that when they know their organization is under some type of microscope, or maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know.
They didn't know. I don't think they did know, but regardless, I mean, these people, whether they know or not, they don't care. Like, if you're that motivated to be trying to blow people up on a holiday, I don't think you care if the people know about you or not. Like they're going for it. They're a terror group, and that's it.
These organizations. And if anyone does not believe that members of these groups are organized, sophisticated, and extremely violent, let me tell you about the plot in this case.
Let's go.
The four defendants are Audrey Carroll, 30 years old. The pictures, I think we have them somewhere. We'll put them up here. Audrey Carroll, 30 years old. Zachary Aaron Page, 32. Dante Gaffield, 24. And Tina Lay, 41. Each from the Los Angeles area. Each is charged with conspiracy and possession.
They all sound American. All those names sound like American names. Wow. Yeah. Domestic terrorists.
An unregistered destructive device in violation of Title 26, United States Code Section 5861D. We intend to file additional charges in the coming weeks as we finish reviewing the evidence. The defendants are all.
I just don't understand that, because we talked about the people that rushed the Capitol. Look at the animals. Look at them. And then to go and want to kill and blow up stuff. That's not the way to do it either. It's not the way to do it. That's
they just busted the guy that was planting the pipe bombs on January 6th. They busted that guy the other day.
Radical anti-government members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, which according to their own social media is an anti-capitalist, anti-government movement that calls for their associates to rise up and fight back against capitalism. one of the leaders of the organization.
I ain't gonna lie. When Trump got in office, we knew this was going to be a thing. Smart people knew. We knew there was going to be some type of things was going to change because that type of leadership it creates. I'm not saying he created them because fuck it. Nobody should make you want to blow up people, so that's not on him. But what I'm saying is, people knew that this environment was going to be what we live in right now. They already predicted that. They were saying it, and that's what we living in right now.
I mean, Donald Trump is an
Audrey
extremely polarizing person. You know what I mean? Like, you either love him or hate him. He makes people crazy, but it's not just what he said. It's really what he's doing. Like, he's the first president we've ever seen that came out and enacted so much change in such a short amount of time. I mean, the guy hasn't even been in office for a full year yet and done so many different things. So, like, it's not that they hate him just because they hate him. They hate him because he is powerful and he's effective in what he's doing and legitimate changes to bring America to the point where it should be, you know, like a real superpower.
That what you just said, that don't make no sense. They hate him. As Americans, we hate him because he's powerful and he's doing his thing. No, he's our president at the bottom line. I don't hate him, mind you, but I'm just saying people hate people allegedly hate him because he's powerful and he's effective. No, that's not why. It's because of the things he says and the things he say.
Yes.
And his actions.
Listen. If it was only about the things he said and, you know, his personality and people just hate him because they don't like him, like he's got a face you want to punch, that kind of thing. People don't blow up innocent people for that kind of shit. You know what I mean? People don't climb on a roof and take a shot at somebody with a rifle in public because they don't like what somebody says. What it comes down to is people try to take someone out. People try to kill people when they're worried about change and how effective someone is in changing policy and changing rules and getting shit back in order. The opposite of what these people want. That's when they go out and hurt people. It's not because they don't like him. It's because of what he's been capable of doing. And it's from the fact that he's the person holding his power.
That makes some sense to the world.
And for 4 years before Trump came, 4 years, all we heard about is how much the president couldn't do things. Wasn't able to do things. He flat out said, I can't control the border. You know, it's out of control. It's beyond control. There's nothing I can do to stop it. And then Trump came in, and in a few days, that shit was shut down. You know what I mean? So his
ratings is down right now. You're talking big. He's not that popular right now, but at the same time, like you said, he only been there for this amount of time. He's setting it up. It looked like to where, hopefully, you know, because he's my president, so I want him to succeed, mind you, but I am going to talk about whatever is wrong. And if I feel something wrong, I'm never controlled by no side or no nothing. I ain't controlled by shit.
Look, this podcast with me and you, we call balls and strikes. If we like somebody, doesn't matter. We're still going to call them out when they say some fuck shit. I don't like what he said. I think it was a dirtbag, underhanded, lower than what he should be. He's a president. He shouldn't be talking like that. Even if you got a valid reason to fucking diss on somebody like that, like, you just can't. You have to have a little couth, a little respect, and he didn't in this situation. So I don't rock with what he said about that. But I'm still a fan of his. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an American. I don't care about a side. I care about America, and I voted for him because he was gonna do what I wanted to see and that we need as a country. And he's doing it. And because he's doing those things, the people that don't like that are now getting real rowdy. You know, they used to talk shit on Twitter.
Because I don't have no examples of what he's allegedly doing. But let's keep it going. Now, hold on, let me just watch this.
What do you mean? Immigration policy, tariffs, closing the borders. I mean, what has he had? What has he not done? He's done everything.
That's something that
they don't like it.
Okay, he's the best. He's doing it. According to you, he's doing everything right. Okay. Besides what he said.
No,
even more radical.
That's not what
we're gonna report.
Not
remember the date and everything. What time is it and what's today's date? B. Rad said that because I said I want some examples. He said he's done everything. He's doing everything. So that show y'all examples of somebody who's really
no, but he is
really like
he's going after every major, like everything that he campaigned for in his election, saying, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that." That's what I'm saying. He's doing all of that. That's what I mean by.
Well, he said he's going to bring
He's
down
not
the price of food and the price of gas and the price of stuff. That's what we was concerned
He's
about.
working on it. He's working on bringing it down. He's not the one who put it up, but he's bringing it down. Gasoline.
That's all I'm
now,
worried about.
with
The immigration and stuff. That's all y'all personal stuff or whatever the other shit. He said he's gonna bring the prices down for food and do this. You know what I mean? Make stuff good for us out here.
He has.
I'm
When's
American.
the last time you bought a gallon of milk or a carton of eggs? Because they're a lot cheaper than they were 2 years ago, that's for sure. And gas right now, granted, we live in New York, so we're still dealing with some bad, but I just got gas today for premium was $3.89. They say it's coming down. I know in California it's over $7 a gallon, but I know that the average price nationally is like $2 or $2.50 a gallon. So, we're not seeing it here in New York, and California is definitely not seeing it, but in other states across the country, gas has come down a lot, and that's a big thing. The holiday travel's coming up, but this is all stuff that.
I think that's why EST mad at me because of these Trump arguments. EST like, fuck this, I gotta go another way.
Listen, you guys can bitch and complain about it. You can hate him all you want, but then you don't need to thank him for all the things
I don't hate
he's
him.
done for our country.
That's where people get it confused. They get the argument so confused, and they take it to the whole shit, and they bring up bigger topics, the overall general shit. We speak in specific here. That's what we do.
Faction of the group called
when I say
the Order of the
mean
Black
like
Lotus.
you, I meant like
Each
you,
of the
whoever is fucking talking shit. I didn't mean you specifically. So
I know.
apologize.
But not even just me. Like people don't gotta hate to disagree with the way that somebody's moving and stuff. And it's like, oh, you hate them, so that way, and I love them, so you can't tell me nothing about them, and everything is like But that's the power of Trump, and I respect that. He turned y'all motherfuckers into straight zombies.
He's
y'all
cold,
love
for sure. I mean, the guy is
I like
provocative, to say the least.
We used to love Donald Trump when you hated him.
Yeah.
And that's a song. And guess what? That's a song by Bush Knight, Bush K on iTunes. You can go get it. It's called "We Used to Love Donald Trump" by Bush K on iTunes. I dropped that shit a while ago, but the shit I'm talking in that is facts. But that's during when we was going through the COVID and stuff, and we was on lockdown. Bad quality song, terrible everything. But if you hear what I'm saying, you hear what I'm saying.
I rock with it.
Be right. We need a real.
Like I've said 100 times before, like I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. You know what I mean? Like I vote for whoever I think is doing the right thing. But I'll be honest, like this was before we had the podcast, but I remember the day I heard when they announced that it was going to be Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump for president. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, this is the best we have to offer. Fucking Hillary, the idiot Clinton, like the most evil woman in the world, who just whatever, her, and then Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? Like, why the hell does Donald Trump think he should be the president? I didn't really know much about him. I just knew what everybody else knew. He does this. He's on TV. He was a rich guy. He was a construction tycoon, whatever. But I didn't really rock with him. I didn't vote for him his first term. I didn't really rock with him. I was so sick of him. When he finally ended his term, I was so happy that I wasn't going to hear about whatever he had to say every day. And then over the course of the next 4 years, I realized, oh my God, we're in deep shit and we actually need this guy. And that's why I fully supported him and all that. But like, I wasn't.
So Biden made you a Trump supporter? Biden made you a Trump supporter or Obama?
I would say if the two, I would say Biden, but it was no, but I also very political. I didn't really care very much when Obama was in office. I liked him personally. I thought he was a great guy. And then when you look at the stuff that really was going on and the stuff he was doing is really not that great. He was a charismatic, young. He seemed like a good dude. He had a good message, but whatever. Whatever. It is what it is. But no, it wasn't even Biden that made like Donald Trump. It just was the state of America and the state of the world and everything that was going on. And then you just eventually had to realize that this guy is a patriot. You know, there's so many bad things about him that people say, but I don't care what people say. When it comes down to black and white on paper, what have you done and what have you failed to do? He checked a bunch of boxes, and he came back in this time, knew how to operate within the White House system and the government system, and now he's actually affecting real change. So, yeah, man, we needed him, and I'm glad he was there. You know, I'm glad he was
But
there.
you don't respect this disrespecting the dead situation.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And again, you can support someone and, you know, support them, but it doesn't mean you support every word they say and everything they do. You know, like hopefully it's like an 80-20. Like hopefully he only does 20% of shit that I don't like. But
why don't you
bottom
support
line,
that? If you support him as a leader, why don't you support that? Let's just get to the bottom and explain, you know, why.
because I don't support. Look, first and foremost, I personally don't think it's a cool thing to drag dead people's names. All right. I'm just not into that. Once somebody's gone, that shit's over with. You know what I mean? But aside from that, that's just my personal choice. But in general, like when you're a politician, when you're a leader, and when you're the leader of
not a
America, the leader of
politician.
the
He's the president. He's not a politician. He's the president. He's the boss,
That's
and
right.
I respect that
You're a leader.
he made it there. He legitimately, and I do believe he legitimately made it there, and the people wanted him, and he's there. You feel me? My bad, but continue.
But yeah, so when you're a leader and when you're the leader of the free world, because the president of the United States is the leader of the free world, you got to check your personal bullshit. You know, you don't like somebody, cool. You don't need to make a statement about it then. But as the president, when something like that happens, especially someone as big as Rob Reiner, who culturally is a huge, huge deal, you know, you should acknowledge that as the president of the United States when it happens in our country. But he should have just acknowledged it and went with a canned statement. You know, we pray for the family, this, that, the third, not to come out and say, oh, it's a sad situation that this unstable, psychotic dickhead that I didn't like died. You know, like it was all underhanded shit, and I don't respect that. And as a leader, you shouldn't be talking like that. You should just keep it fully respectful, or don't say anything at all. But
or was it the pain from Kurt Franklin, and he like, oh, I'm gonna get y'all back, type shit. Even though that's petty too, but maybe he was really mad about how a lot of the left side had insensitive statements. They didn't get grimy like that, but they had some insensitive statements. You know that a lot of them politicians. So, but I'm not just. I'm just talking. You know, that's what we do here. We just talk and think because everybody's a human.
I think it's going to be funny though. Like, so he makes this statement, and they're already out there. But I'm saying, like, over the next few days, all we're going to hear from the left is how he's such an asshole for saying this, and he should be impeached for saying this, and we're going to hear all that nonsense. But nobody has apologized for being thankful for Charlie Kirk dying or for Dan on Instagram when this guy was.
I'm sorry,
murdered.
Charlie Kirk. My bad. Forgive me. Yeah. I mean,
but nobody is going to be up in arms about this statement, but they're going to immediately forget that they all talked just a few months ago. So I don't really care what these people have to say. I don't agree with
what's
what Donald said.
dangerous? You know, back in the 60s and the civil rights, all that shit coming up, they were worried about the black outspoken guy that could bring people together and bring people together. They murked all the ones we had, and then we gave up on that shit. Now let me stop. But on another level, like the Charlie Kirk, man, I could see why they. I can't see why they did that, but I can see the fear that he was invoking in the other side, because it's like it's terrible that how we turned these politics into gang type shit. You feel me? Mm-hmm. You see somebody young, powerful as that. Yeah, I mean, he get took out by another young Caucasian male who was so fucking in his brain, so messed up behind him. He had to do that. Like, imagine, you feel me? Because you think left, you think black, you think color, you think not color, but you know what I mean? You think the minority of people. But no, there's a lot of well-off white left people on the left side too, and they really the ones that's really gonna get that passionately involved to do some crazy shit like that. Ain't one black dude in the ghetto, even if he watching Charlie Kirk, if he see say, "Oh, that motherfucker, fuck him," blah, 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 he'd never think about killing him. If anything, we looking at the power of him and we admiring that. Tell you the truth, we like, you know what I mean? We looking at what he's doing as a young dude because he's a young human being. It don't matter his color. He's a young human being, and look at the power that he did and what he did and created. You feel me? For what he believed in, he could have did anything he wanted.
He had a huge voice, and what most people that don't like him or say they hate Charlie Kirk or say he was a hateful person or whatever, a racist, misogynist, that's people who have been watching clips of him, 20, 30-second clips. But
They
what they don't realize
sensationalize the clip for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of clips. And that's how I first got into him years ago. I think like 4 or 5 years ago is when I first started getting into Charlie Kirk, because a lot of his clips were just coming up on my YouTube. And eventually, after hearing what he was saying, I was like, I got to hear this.
Because it come up with your YouTube because your ideologies and your ideas. Because at the job, Corey and them, it was like, I don't know who I was working with. Somebody. It was like Charlie Kirk died. I was like, I was working with, I ain't gonna say the names and stuff, and I'm like, who? And they like, just don't worry about it. Just calm down. I swear to God. I was like, who? I didn't even know who the hell he was, homie. Because if I see some negative type of clip like that, it's not gonna register me. I'll just, you know what I mean? If they make it that way, you know what I mean? If they make it look like
the clips I was seeing of him weren't these clips that you see now of him where he's going in on somebody like talking shit. Whereas then if you watch, because like I said, you'll see a 30-second clip, but if you watch the entire question and answer for that like 3 or 4 minutes, whatever it is, you'll see that it wasn't detailed like it seemed based on that short little clip. It's very different when you watch the whole thing. Most don't. That's why they don't like him. But what the parts that I was seeing, this is 4 or 5 years ago, it was him talking about like his religious faith, like having back and forth with students about religious politics based when I was seeing it. It was a lot of him just talking about
it looked like
faith
healthy talk. It looked like good, healthy talk for the students and for everybody to learn stuff and learn about people.
It was weird because it was weird to me because I was like, who is this dude going to college campuses like arguing with these kids? But then so that's when I wound up watching like a full video of his. And
I watched that later.
Right, talking shit because like he would like things in these arguments with these kids, but then at the end of it, he would always say, he's like, look, he's like, I just want the best for you. I want you to get an education. You put up in the bullshit, but at the end of the day, I'm here so that we can have a back and forth discourse and try to understand each other's point of view.
Yeah, that was great.
To like a healthy, sober place.
That's very important to do, because when that's the problem that we're dealing with now, that we can't do that and we want to kill it, or we look at each other as something that you want to kill them. Now, if you're able to talk and debate and talk, then you understand each other better. So that was important. That was very important.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you didn't just lose an individual; you lost a person who was really about having a strong faith and supporting for America. When he was saying like these things like, "Oh, college is a ripoff," he's not saying it because it's like, "Oh, you're an idiot because you're going to school." He's saying that to try to help people.
We heard that in the ghetto all day. They said, "Go to trade school. Don't do this. Fuck that college." So that's not nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when you silence a voice like that, like all you've done now is just take away from the world. Like the guy wasn't out here preaching hate. I know people think he was.
No, but that's what we said. It goes back to what I said about Trump. When somebody like Trump coming off, as weird stuff is going to happen. That's what everybody was scared of. The passion is going to be heavy. It's going to get deep. It's going to get dangerous. But that's just what it is. I'm sorry, everybody. You know what I mean? Because this goes back to his ultimate goal was to take him out because he was so powerful and helping the big guy. You feel me? And bringing the young vote, and that was his thing. I think that's from the research I did. I'm not the best researcher, but I watched some documentaries and things like that, and he was just on that side to where it was like that was everything. He don't care about other shit that Charlie's talking about, or the fact that he's bringing these two different things together to talk and have dialogue, and how important that is. That's crazy. Important for the kids. because you can't look at nobody like no weird object. These are people. Now go talk to them and
Yeah.
and then tell them your point of view. Okay, whatever, and then you understand and move on. Who gives a fuck?
And the whole and the whole thing, aside from his political discourse when he would go to the college, go back and forth, that wasn't his only thing. In fact, that was just like a side project that he did. That wasn't his main thing. That's what got
Oh,
him
I
a
know.
lot of
He had his whole network. This dude was big time.
But his network, Turning Point USA, the whole idea of Turning Point USA was to bring the right wing side of politics into formal education places, high schools, colleges, because those institutions in America are extremely left, right?
Yeah.
So they're very left leaning. These students are being inundated with nothing but left sided politics. So all he was trying to do was come in and bring open to right wing ideology and the thoughts of the right and what that was, but also to bring in the religious aspect of it. Didn't have to be Christianity. He was a big proponent of religion of any kind because it's a good base. You know what I mean? The difference is after that, whatever it is, what it is. But he was about having faith. So it was also not politics, which was an unspoken.
That's why I can't really like, because I think the left deal with science more and knowledge more. These kids, they know about these kids. They could be raised in a damn Christian house, strict Catholic house, and they gonna do their shit and learn bigger. And most of them ain't believing in all that stuff. And then when you get up in the schools, when you get to the schools, you forced to do this and things like that. That's one of the things. That's just one little aspect of it. And then like it's more than just that though. You know what I mean? But these kids is they believe. I think the left is identified with being more ready to evolve, and then the right is more like let's keep it like this type shit. That's why the make America in. Feel me? They want to go back to how it was.
The left in America is very different than what people think it is and what it used to be. So, like, through the 60s and 70s, and in the 80s, even in the 90s, the idea and what we all thought of the left is that they were the progressive ones. They were the ones that were down with equality and, anti-racism and bringing people together as one group instead of just, color and race and religious and all that shit and ideologies. They seemed like they were more of bringing people together. That was what it looked like and what it was supposed to be. I mean, what it really was, a very different story. But now we're seeing that's not the case at all. Bottom line is what we can see is that the right is conservative. They're based on religion. We're in America, so it's a Catholic-based religion, but they're still. I mean, we're open to all religions here. Anybody can practice their faith as long as it's not like a crime. So that's fine. But what we're seeing now is that the left, they don't really stand for anything. But if they do get one message out there, they're basically you can see the socialist far left teachings now in our party. I mean, in the Democratic Party, because you can see the three things they're going after and trying to take down in America, which is family, right? Religion. And the third one is, family, religion, and I'm blanking on it. But basically, those are the ideologies of like Marxist, like Karl Marx. So Marxism. And in order for, like in Soviet Russia, what they had to do is they had to break down religious belief. They had to break down the family structure. And I forget what the third one was. But once you do all of that, like disgracing your nation, having no pride, no national pride, right? So they want to get rid of the family. They want to get rid of the family. They want to get rid of religious practice, and they want to get rid of.
This is what the right is saying to me, based off I don't know what, but that's what you're saying to me. But I get it. Go ahead, keep going though. I'm hearing you.
Right. What I was getting to, they want to break those three things down, and that was basically that whole plan. I don't know if you saw the interview with the guy from back in the 80s and the 90s. It was a Russian intel guy, and he was talking about like how Russia, the Soviet Union, former Soviet Union, was planning on taking down America by infiltrating the schools, higher learning education and making it far left to communism and Marxism, which is what we're seeing has absolutely happened. And those are the three steps you need to do to basically take down a country is to do those three.
So the left want to be communist. That's what you're saying.
Right. But what you're seeing now is our left party, so the right is the religious factor. The right is the religious group. The left, whether they have people in there that are religious and devout Catholics, Muslims, whatever it may be, the message on the left is body positivity, but also female, basically, for women to be proud of their bodies and not to be ashamed, which is a good thing, of course. But then they're also pro go out and sleep with people. You know what I mean? Don't get married necessarily. It's okay to do with your body whatever you want. Don't let people shame you and tell you that you can't sleep with people. But that is a direct conflict with any religious teaching. You're not supposed to be out just,
that's why they want to take religion out of the schools and stuff, you're saying. Okay.
Right. But what I'm saying is, so the left supports that kind of shit. The left is also supporting, the whole trans community thing, which is, again, when you're dealing with religions, that's a no-no. You know what I mean? But they're pushing that. So they can't claim to be religious, but also push what they're pushing in their ideology.
40 minutes ago, you said, when I said, we live by the laws or something, I said something, you said these laws was written when you said something referring to, this was written when we were this. So with religion, it's exempt for you, So you're using religion.
Not at all.
You're using religion to justify why you think there shouldn't be free will for the human beings to do whatever the hell they want.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what I said is that we still have laws on our books in the United States from 200-300 years ago. Like I said, because of blue laws, you can't kiss your wife in Connecticut on a fucking Sunday in public or any day in public, but that's a 200-year-old law that nobody writes that ticket or arrests anybody for that crime.
Religion is thousands of years law. You talk about religion. Those are thousands of years that somebody wrote that we don't even know who wrote. But hey, I don't know. But
the difference is if you practice your faith, then you believe in that. You don't have to believe in it, but then you're not going to practice that faith. That's all I'm saying. But
the problem when it comes to schools is some of these kids don't, and some of them do, and this and that, and it gets crazy. And now you want them to just abide by it, because let's be honest here, it's going to be Christian, because it's Catholic. It's going to be some dialect of in the schools if you do an overall religion in the schools. It's not going to be.
First off, I don't want any religion put into schools. Absolutely not. I don't want religion.
Sound like what you were saying.
No, not at all. Not at all. I wasn't talking about schools. I was talking about just in general, as far as the parties go. The right is a religious leaning organization, and the left is anti-religion. Everything that they're pushing in their ideology goes against religious teachings. That's all I'm saying. It's got nothing to do with putting religion in schools. If you want your kid to get an education in a religious, school or something like that, then send your kid to a private school, send them to a Catholic school, send them to a yeshiva, for Jewish training, teachings, or whatever, however you want to do that. Also, what I'm saying is, in America, yes, it's basically a Catholic religion, because that's the majority of people in America are Catholic or Christian. But in America, we have freedom of religion, which also means that we have freedom of non-religion. You don't need you don't have to practice religion, and you can be vocal about not practicing it. Okay. You can be an atheist, you can be a Satanist, you can be anything you want. And that's legal in the United States, as long as you're not hurting anybody. And I'm with that. I prefer that. I would not want to live in a country where people aren't allowed to practice their faith openly and legally, just because in America it's Catholicism, and that's my background. Like if our country didn't allow Muslims or didn't allow Jewish people to practice their faith, that wouldn't affect me because I'm a Catholic, right? So my religion would be okay here if that's how they did it. But I wouldn't be okay with that, okay? Just because it's my religion that's accepted and I'm allowed to practice it, nobody with theirs, that would be just fine for my religious beliefs. But the reality is, in real life, I don't want that, because that can change. Obviously, I want everybody to be able to practice their religion freely, and that's it. And that's what we have here. And I respect that, and I like it that way. But what I'm saying is I don't want to hear people on the left talk about religion when they're also backing up all these ideas and policies that literally go against religious teachings of any kind. So, like, if you're not going to be religious, cool, you don't have to be. But don't try to bring shit back to God, or say that, that you believe in
So you don't
faith, or
believe
even
that these people should be able to be in the military, like trans people? You don't believe that?
Well, I mean, look, it's not, I don't have anything against people specifically. I think the whole reason behind the whole trans thing is because as we can see, like, it's dangerous for these people these people, again, not all, but a lot of people that are going through gender reassignment and that kind of shit, they're on hormone blockers, they're on hormones. These people are kind of unstable. Even if they're a completely normal, mentally sane person, when you start messing with people's hormones and stuff like that, with these medications they put these people on, yeah, absolutely, that person shouldn't have a gun. That person's not someone who should have a lot of responsibility. That's a crazy situation to be in. And on top of that, look, if you believe in God, you believe in God, fine. If you don't believe in God, you still have to acknowledge that there is nature in general. There's rules of nature. So if you're born and you think that God put you in the wrong body, right, or that up and put you in the wrong body, right? So then that means as a human being that you're smarter and know more God or nature, right? That's not someone who should be in our military with a gun potentially giving orders, because that's someone who is mentally unstable. Like, how are you born in the wrong body? You have DNA. There's a code to you. You are either a man or a woman. And if you don't know that and you can't come to terms with that, then yeah, I don't think you should be in the military. I don't think you should be a teacher. I don't think that you should be a police officer. I don't think you should be in government. I think you should just live your life and do your thing, but you should not have any powerful influence over the masses, because you yourself are not all together.
Yeah, but if you show that you can do the job, then I agree. Because there's tests for all these jobs. If they pass the test, then they should be able to do it. That's how I feel.
But Bush. But just because you know the answers to a test and you can pass the test doesn't mean that
you're ready for it. I'm talking about physical tests. I'm not talking about. I didn't say a test writing down. There's tests. They do all kinds of tests. It ain't just writing on the paper.
Right. But what I'm saying is it doesn't matter if the person's physically capable or smart enough to get the job. What I'm saying is this person mentally stable long term? And when you're dealing with people who believe they're in the wrong body, and then on top of that are on hormone blockers or hormone uptakes, I don't care who you are, you can't control emotions, and you're not thinking straight when you're on hormone blockers. When you're a female and they're pumping testosterone, or you're a male and they're pumping you full of estrogen, you're not going to be able to think right, because you're going against the natural order of things. How do you function properly with that? And then look what happens with these people. It's really sad, because these people aren't in the wrong bodies. Getting gender isn't going to fix their issues. You know what I mean? It's most likely gender dysphoria, which is the term for someone who believes they're in the wrong body. But again, if you think that you're a female, even though you were born a male, then you get the surgery. That doesn't change anything that's going on in your mind at all. It just changes your physical constitution. But
so you're saying there's no female police officers and soldiers? There's female cops, soldiers, and all that. But you're saying, I know what you're saying.
Yes, female is fine. Look, you can absolutely be a female and be a police officer, and you can be a female and be in the military. I don't think that females should be in a combat role, but only 15% of our armed forces wind up in a combat role. But I'm saying 15% of our armed forces are in a combat style role, where there'll be an infantry soldier or something like that. The other 85% of our military is made up of people in logistics and pilots and people who don't ever have anything to do with a gun or bombs. You know what I mean? They might transport them, but they're not the one pulling the trigger. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to people being in a combat role, I think it should be men. One, I'm not saying in all cases, but majority of the time, men are the physical dominant of these, right? So if there's going to be a physical confrontation, I'm going to want the one that's more suited to physical, which is going to be most likely a male. Are there women out there that can kick dudes' asses? Absolutely. Ronda Rousey would body a man, but I don't want to see her necessarily on the front lines either, because the problem is with that, what it comes down to, no, but this is a legitimate problem. This is the problem with it. All right, when a man witnesses another man are killed in combat, it fucks him up. It's a horrible thing. It can be tolerated. When a man, especially somebody who's going to join the military and fight and be a prideful individual, when that man sees a woman get hurt in combat, it's very different. The man's going to react different. He's going to do, his natural instinct is to protect. So he's going to wind up going out there trying to help her, and it's going to change the dynamic. Whereas if that were a man, the other soldiers would be thinking straight. But if it's a woman, it's going to change the dynamic, and it's not something, that's not a decision or something you need to contemplate when you're in the middle of a gunfight. All right, like there's plenty of roles that women can absolutely take that are necessary, and women are gangsters when it comes to it, but it doesn't have to be in a combat role. There are ones out there that can absolutely do the job for sure. I'm not saying they can't, but I personally just think that based on the way it would affect the men in the unit, I don't think that women should be in a combat role. You know,
These thoughts are coming straight from B-Rad. These are not, but like these thoughts are coming from B-Rad. These
are my own thoughts. These are my own thoughts. It does not mean that as a channel support what I'm saying. This is just my own personal thoughts. And again, it's not misogyny. It's not that women can't do the job, right? It's just that majority of women wouldn't be able to meet the requirements to do that job. But even if the woman is able to do that job and meets all the requirements without them being lowered, I still think that I just don't think it's a good idea to have them in that role, because it's a fucked up dynamic. It's a fucked up dynamic. And plus, do you want to see a fucking woman go hand to hand with a dude in the middle of a combat zone? No, bro. Like, that's crazy. Like, if you had your choice of who to put in a fight, just off of anybody, would you put a woman or a dude? It's going to be a dude. You know, it's not misogynist. Like, also, you can't have women go to war, because if we wind up killing off women, then we can't have kids, you know, and then our future's fucked. So if the women,
but unfortunately, you got some women that want to go to war. Every woman don't want to go to war. Most of them don't, but you got some women that want.
Sure, and I respect it. And I'm saying there's women that want to go and who are physically capable of doing so. I just personally don't think it's a good idea, but I'm not knocking any woman who wants to. I'm super proud of them. And if they're physically able to,
it's not a good idea. Hey, thanks.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. It's not me saying, "Oh, I don't want them out there because they suck." No, I think they're way too valuable in a war zone, to be honest. You know, like I said, like if we wind up putting our women in a war zone and they wind up dying, they can't have children. You know, we only have a finite number of women, and if they get killed off, we're screwed. But as long as the women are still there, it doesn't matter how many guys die in a war, we're still going to have men. We're still going to be able to repopulate our civilization, our country.
That's true. You know? Hey, James, James Hudson left a comment on the last show, so he found us. Shout out James Hudson. What's up? You good? We're about to get up out of here. They got an update. No, they still looking for old boy in Boston. though. They still looking for him. But so
which one is that?
Everybody keep your eyes open. They still looking for him, man.
Happening right now for the Brown University shooter. A few details announced last night that a man they had in custody is no longer a person of interest. Investigators say this is a video of the suspect who gunned down 2 students, wounding 9 others nearly 48 hours ago. Police are going door to door in some neighborhoods, we've learned, requesting more footage.
CNN's John Miller is with us now. John, what are you hearing from sources?
He's still free.
Well, a lot of time and resources were used up yesterday trying to prove or disprove the involvement of the person of interest that they had in custody for almost 19 hours until they were pretty certain that they had disproved it. So
he's still at large, man. So, you know, this is the only pictures they got, I guess. It was harassing them, trying to get more, harassing the people. Not harassing, but doing their job, trying to get some more pictures. They're going to get better pictures. I'm sure he walked by a Tesla or
have a ring cam or security camera on their house facing this way, so they'll come around and see it. But like, I mean, this guy's dangerous, man. He fucking killed 2 people and hurt 8 or 9 others by shooting a school up. Like, this dude needs to be found ASAP, and I'm sure the community has 0 problems with helping find this guy.
Yeah, I can't believe he's still at large, man. Anyway, you know,
I don't
understand
the motivation of things. I said I don't understand the motivation for these things. Like, it's crazy.
That's why when we
I don't know
talk
why-
politically, I don't really want to get too passionate, because I feel like a lot of times that's some of it. That's part of it. A lot of it, because I don't understand. He looked like a grown man. I don't know what's going on. Usually, the mass shooters of schools be the kids that go there, but maybe he is a kid and he's just a big kid. I don't know. You know.
But then, I mean, just the other day out, what was it? Somewhere, was it Texas or wherever? There was
Rhode Island, right? Oh, you talking about something else? I'm sorry.
Yeah, another college just 2 days ago where this father showed up to a school and shot 2 students.
Wowzer.
Yeah, he just rolled up and killed 2 kids in the front of the school and in front of a college. And his son, the father's son, goes to that school as well. So I think an altercation between his son and these 2 kids, and then the father showed up to the school and shot them both.
Yeah, when you want to take out the innocent, that's just crazy. So
Crazy.
It's
crazy.
We
I don't
got
understand. I don't understand what this crazy violence in America is. I understand that there's a lot of problems and people have a lot of they're divided on a lot of topics, but I don't understand what provokes someone to run up in a school or on a school property and shoot at kids. I don't understand someone who walks into a mall and shoots people. I don't understand people who drive through Christmas, parades, mowing people down with cars. I don't understand why these people are doing this shit. And they usually wind up killing themselves as soon as they finish. Like, couldn't they just do that instead? But they got to go out and take out a bunch of innocent people first.
I don't understand that trait in the humans. To hurt people. I don't,
it's coward shit. It's coward shit.
Yeah, you hurt, stitch your ass, go heal, or go somewhere. Don't hurt nobody else because you hurt.
And when you look at these situations, you say what can we even do to try to stop this? Well, it's been said already, and I think they've even actually put this into play in a couple of situations so far. But when you have somebody who wants to do something like this, or you had that one person who ran up in that Catholic church back in September. There was kids praying and they ran in there and shot a bunch of kids. People that do that kind of shit, right? They don't just wake up one day and decide to do this, right? This is something that people plan this out. This is a bunch of different things happen in his life, and then they eventually decide to do something like this. But when they do, the people around them, right? Their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, cousins, co-workers, people that are around these people on a daily basis, they notice this shit. They don't necessarily know what the person is going to do, but they notice the person has been increasingly violent, increasingly erratic in their behavior, usually on medication of some sort, SSRIs, antidepressants, things like that.
Nobody know that. Nobody know this stuff though. This is unimaginable. Come on now.
No. This is what I'm getting to. The people around people that do this kind of shit, like I said, they don't know that the person's going to go and shoot a school up or some shit. But there are leading up to it. And on top of that, they're actually, when they write manifestos and shit, or they go in these people's rooms and search their houses after they commit a mass shooting, they find all these written documents, that just, when you read it, that this person is super violent. They even talk about wanting to take people out before they take themselves out. They write this shit down. It's all over their apartments, all over their houses. The people that are around them, their girlfriends, boyfriends, family in general, these people damn well know that there's something up with this person. From the get-go, they know that their kid is a little bit of a wacko, right? But then on top of that, you buying guns for the kid. The kid's got a crazy gun collection. He's 20 years old. He's gotten increasingly political in the last year or two. He talks real wild, is open to violence. People around you notice.
I know what you're saying. We got to evolve in America. We got to evolve to be more aware of the signs, and that's what you're getting at. Yeah, definitely. You got to evolve to be more aware. We can't ain't no none of this getting. Oh, he just likes to be alone. He just likes to fuck that. We gotta get involved in all these kids and whoever else, not even just a kid, adults, grown men, because sometimes grown men don't develop their brain till they 50 something. But definitely.
I'm just saying, if someone is so messed up that they're gonna walk into a school and do something awful like this, or into a public place and do something awful like that, like I'm saying, they didn't just wake up that day and decide to do it. Maybe one of them did. It's planned, and the people around them, as long as there's people around them, they should notice, and they do notice. They know, and they don't say anything. And then this person goes out and does something awful. I think that the people around them should be brought to justice, because they chose to ignore something. They didn't turn this person in or tell the authorities about it. But then you know what? There's also
we work with people all day, and we like, well, that motherfucker crazy. He might blow up the place. We just let them go about their life, and we don't mind them. But we work with people.
Right,
we be around people. We know people, and we don't take those steps. That's why I say we got to evolve now. It's different times.
But also, what's even crazier is sometimes you do have their families or people that are around them do contact the authorities and say, you got to watch out for this guy. Something's going on with him. And then you'll find out that after someone does commit a crime like this, then we'll come to find out that there were a lot of people who went to the authorities about this person and nothing was ever done. You know what I mean? Or like, you see it all the time. Like, a girl goes to the police about her boyfriend being violent, and like nothing gets taken care of about it. Like, he beats her up a bunch of times. She goes to court. The guy gets let out, never gets in trouble for it, doesn't go to prison. And then he winds up killing the girl. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's such a tragedy. It's not a tragedy. Everybody saw this happening. We watched this play out, and nobody did anything to stop it. So like you said, we need to evolve and start being proactive when it comes to stopping people from killing people, not reactive and pick up the people they spill everybody's milk.
Nah, you're definitely right, bro. Hey, Mace, we live right now. I'm here with B-Rad. Mace Float call us. Hey, you hear him, Mace?
Yeah. Salute to Mace Loke. What's up, brother?
You hear him, right, B-Rad?
Yeah, it's your boy Mace.
Hey, Mace, we was talking about all of the crazy shit in America, the mass shootings, like, what the hell's going on? And it's usually it's not from the ghetto, it's from the suburbs and stuff. But it's sad, what's going on, in Boston. I mean, at Brown University, you heard about it, right?
Yeah, what happened at Brown?
At Brown, that's in Rhode Island. We used to live out there. It was a mass shooting. What happened to Brown? Mass shooting, but a couple people got killed. A lot of people got shot.
Yeah. 2 dead, 8 shot.
Yeah. On the same. Yeah, no, I ain't hear about it.
Hey, but
I ain't heard nothing about it.
I know it's sad. Hey, I gotta talk to you about something though. Your homie So Fine. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. He did a YouTube shit and he coming at Whack 100. I gotta talk to you about this so I can clip this. I'll clip this later. But yeah, man, So Fine is So Fine and Whack 100 is up right now. He coming at you.
Big So Fine or little So Fine?
Now I don't even know. He look a little older. He bald headed. He kind of light skinned. He's skinny.
Both of them is bald headed.
Yeah, I don't know which one then, homie. Yeah, he looked tall. I seen him on the video. He looked tall though.
He got a gap in the bottom of his face.
I don't know. That close. But he definitely had a lot to say to Whack. They going at it and shit, little lightweight Whack. But you the first one to from 30s to, you know what I mean, to speak on the way Whack moving. Now so far he like fuck that. Whack did him wrong, it's crazy.
Your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. Oh yeah, I know So Far. That's my nigga right there. I was in Vacaville with Cuz.
Yeah, he repping that Dago car.
Donovan and a couple other spots.
He's straight West Coast 30s. He go crazy. He coming at Whack. He like, nigga, I walked them 4 yards. Nigga, this and that. Blah, blah, blah. Like, damn. I don't even know where it started, but he mad at Whack. I know that.
On the set. know, everybody cuz trying to get her, you know, ain't busters. You feel me? Like, cuz gotta remember, like, it's gangs all over California. You feel me? Like, motherfuckers, like, it ain't just in LA no more. You feel me? So motherfuckers is promoting their city. They going hard for their city and shit. Hella hard. Motherfuckers ain't going for the bullshit no more. Feel me? So, you know, motherfuckers like Rock 100 can't be getting that niggas all crazy and shit. And cuz is from Pacoima. Cuz ain't even from LA. He's from Pacoima.
Yep.
That's a fact.
That's like the outskirt. You feel me? So I mean, and God needs to know who he talking to. So Fine ain't really nobody to fuck with. I know Big So Fine. That's my nigga right there. Big So Fine ain't nobody to fuck with. Lil So Fine, he alright. That nigga's into bitches and he does music and shit. You feel me? So he's like in the bitches and music and shit. I don't really. I mean, cuz can get gangster when it's need to, but you know, I don't really know cuz head like that. But I know So Fine good though. But you know, Big So Fine ain't gonna pick no buster to be his little homie. So cuz, you know.
I don't know. He seemed older though. The dude that was talking, he did a lot of time back in the day type shit. He seemed older, but I don't know. He was older.
That might be Big So Fine. If that's Big So Fine, cuz better watch his mouth. You feel me? On the set.
Black 100 barking up the wall on that one.
Yeah, cuz don't know who he fucking with when he get in that So Fine like that on Crip. Straight up. Don't let the name fool a nigga on Crip. That nigga So Fine ain't nobody to fuck with. Straight up. Yeah.
Oh man.
On Crip.
How you doing though? You good?
How you doing, man? Sloke, how's everything going with you, man?
B-Rad said, how's everything going with you and that shit?
Oh shit, you know, it's all good. You know, a nigga just got off a lockdown, you know, a nigga just got murdered up here and shit.
Damn, what happened?
Got off lockdown and shit.
Somebody got murdered? What happened? What was it? It was in the yard? Was it in the day of the night? What happened? Let me know about the situation. I'm sorry. I'm ignorant like that. I need to know.
Nah, it's good.
Oh, I want to hear it too.
A motherfucker, you know, it's a respect thing up here. You feel me? We on
level 4, deadly.
And motherfuckers ain't playing when it comes to disrespect, debts, or whatever. You feel me? So I guess the motherfucker was disrespectful and he owed some niggas something and shit. And cuz got caught in a blind spot and got stabbed down. You feel me? They end up killing cuz.
Damn.
So they had us on lockdown for 2 weeks.
2 whole weeks.
They came, tow up the building and shit. You feel me? Goon Squad, the regular police, they came, searched everybody's shit. You feel me? We just got off a lockdown today. Well, tonight, actually. So I'm able to be out in the day room on the phone and shit, talking to y'all right now. But you know,
man, I need my little brother out of that motherfucker. Them animals in there.
Niggas won't really know what the deal is until tomorrow. Actually, you feel me? Because you know, I ain't trying to be talking too much.
Nah, don't talk too much.
Niggas the rumors, you know, is niggas be going right back on when niggas beat
hell
up.
no.
So on everything. So I don't know what the deal is though, but
yeah,
a motherfucker will find out. Tomorrow.
So what you got to say to Wack as far as this So Fine situation and shit like that? You know what I mean? How you feel about that?
You know, I grown to have a little special space in my heart for Cuz. You know, Cuz talk too much, but Cuz is all right.
Whack. You talking about whack?
Yeah, whack. Yeah, whack.
Because you see what he doing? He out here manipulating this internet shit.
On the side, he manipulating and moving, and he getting his paper though. You feel me? Something I want to be doing. You feel me? But what I got to say to Cuz is, you know, hey, you know, whack. Don't bite off too much. You can't chew. You feel me? Because don't underestimate no man. You feel me? If a motherfucker and the motherfucker looking at SoFi, because little big SoFi, this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. Big SoFi is shorter. He's like my height. You feel me? Little SoFi is tall. You feel me? Little big SoFi is not the man you want to be playing with. Feel me? You want to look over your shoulder when you got him in your rearview window. You don't want to underestimate no man. And shit, feel me? Shit, what? You feel me? Like, nigga, if it come down to it, you feel me? You know, I'm riding with my homies. You feel me? I mean, shit, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's on no street stuff. It's just internet shit, I think. But SoFi was just checking them like nigga, don't, you know what I mean? Basically type shit.
Oh yeah. But you know, a motherfucker really need to watch what he say and watch what he do. You feel me? Because you underestimate a nigga and get your whole extra digits violation.
Damn, they cut him off. Yeah, we here. Yeah, you still here? Not too long. I knew they were gonna cut him off.
Oh, they violated him.
Shout out to my little bro Mace Low.
Shout out Mace. Free Mace Low.
Shit. We had a great show. We almost did 3 hours. Bull rag.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Bush.
Didn't seem like
the panel, all that.
We back.
B Rad channel about to be lit too. Anyway, we back. Any last words? You good?
Oh shit. What's gonna happen to me? Is somebody coming in the window? Last words? At least I got my cigarette.
Last word for the show, motherfucker.
But I mean, I'll just leave it with this: is that I mean, it's holidays and everything. It's a really tough time. Dealing with this insanity. You know, it's really sad what's happened in the past few months. All these people that have been dying in America over nonsense and bullshit. People should still be here with their families, but they're not. And the powers that be seem like they're really not doing too much to stop it. If anything, it looks like they're trying to keep it from being stopped. And then we have people in law enforcement. Thank God these people are doing their jobs. Some of them aren't even getting paid because of shutdowns and this, that, the third, but they're still out there doing their thing, trying to make this country safe, even though people hate them for it. But I think America just, man, we need to do some real healing. This country is divided. It's really sad to see. We live in the greatest country in the history of the world. We got the greatest people in the history of the world. And now everybody's so divided over nonsense, when in the reality of it is that we agree on almost everything except for a few issues here and there. And those few issues have like set this nation on fire. And the fact that people are even discussing or even happy at the idea of a potential civil war taking place in America is just so wrong. And it's just really sad, man. And I just feel awful for any families that are dealing with loss right now. Just people in general who have dealt with loss of any kind. It's a tough time in the holidays. So, you know, shout out to them.
Yeah, for real.
It's a tough time.
Rest in peace.
Talk to somebody. Absolutely. Rest in peace to all of those we've lost, for sure. For sure. But yeah, man, if things aren't going well and you're not doing well and you're having some bad thoughts, man, talk to somebody. You know, if you don't got family, you don't have much in the way, there are people out there, professionals that can help. There are people that that just they donate their time. You know, they're just regular everyday people
Hell
that
yeah.
will be on
Tap into us.
online.
We'll talk to you too. Shit. Hit us up
Yeah,
in the messages and comments. We'll talk to you.
somebody. Don't do anything bad. Don't do anything rash. The tough time. If they're a tough time for you, look, just keep your head down, keep pushing. The holidays will pass. Get back to normal everyday life as it is. And if you are big into the holidays, well, celebrate your ass off and enjoy it. End of 2025, coming into 2026. It's going to be a great year, and I just wish everybody the best. And I just hope that we can all, as a nation, start to heal and get past this bullshit and get back on
We will.
point and get to going.
I got faith. I got faith for sure, and I second his sentiments because it sounds positive. It didn't sound like no right or left stuff. So yeah, for sure, I'm on that people stuff. But yeah, I love debating with this fool. We've been doing it for years. Shout out to everybody that tapped in, and shout out to the homie who hit the comments. You feel me? Neighborhood Harold for sure. My boy.
Shout out to Harold.
I told you, James found us. He gonna see this. He gonna see this show. But anyway, we back on the rise.
Yeah,
y'all gonna find us. Jay Hudson.
Big shout
for
out
sure.
to James. Big shout out to EST87.
EST87 is popular. You feel me? And
shout out
Cheech,
to
the Cheech
holding it down.
The click.
You holding it
Anyway,
down.
we out of here, y'all. Till next time, bull ride. Peace.
Welcome to Bull Rad Talks.